So yeah, I think the thing of opening it up for everyone to just be able to speak is what's causing the multiple disconnections. But I've also switched off my VPN. Should I have said that? First, brother.
Yo, yeah, I think we're having some other chat there. But yeah, I think it should be good now.
Yeah, I think either making everyone have to request to join. It's fine. I'll just add everybody. Um, and allow them to join. How much time do you have?
Yeah, I'm good. I just finished work, so I'm just decompressing.
Ah, okay. Now let me invite you to talk so that in case I get booted out, at least you'll be able to keep the space alive in my absence.
I know, sounds good.
Okay,
I mean, are you
okay.
planning on having a 7 hour live?
No, not really. It's almost 6 p.m.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go have what time is it in India? And
it's 6, same time.
are you guys on the East Coast?
Yeah, so it's the same time.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, Nota, do you know how to cook, fam? I've never seen you cook.
I do know how to cook. I just don't.
Why don't you cook?
Ish. Yeah, man. It's just one of those things. I lost the love for cooking a while ago. I used to cook a lot, but I lost the
For
love.
real?
Yeah, I lost the love for cooking. Like I used to stay with a housemate who never contributed to buying groceries or anything else, and I'd be cooking. I'd cook all the time, and then like he'd now invite his friends who are supposedly coming to visit. Next thing, the friends are sleeping on the couch, and I'm the only one paying rent. It's when I lived with younger, you know what I mean? And
Oh, okay. You're feeding the people.
you know what I mean? This guy, I had a collection of Tabasco sauces, like all the different variants of Tabasco sauces. This man ran through each and every single one of them, finished it, polished them, didn't replace them, and then he replaced my spaghetti with some cheap ass noodles. Dude, I couldn't believe it.
So that's when you lost your love for cooking. How long ago was that?
Like from there, I abandoned cooking. This was 2010,
So you're telling me you don't like cooking since 2010?
and I haven't liked it since 2010. I won't lie.
Come on, Nota. Let's find your love for cooking again. Let's rebuild that. Let's heal. Let's make sure you're back in the kitchen.
Yeah, okay, cool. You're in India, so one of these days I'm gonna come through, and then I'm gonna come and cook at your spot. I cooked
I come through,
recently.
Baba. I'm actually going back. I'm gonna be going back and forth between here and DC for a little bit before I go to I'm planning on going to Canada. So yeah.
Why? What's happening in DC?
Well, I mean, hey man, I've lived there for what, 3 years, so I need to. It's home now. That's where all my people are, and that's where all the vibes are, man. Indiana is just white as hell, and it's boring here, man. It's depressing because I'm in Richmond, and Richmond is what this is where they cook
Mm.
the KKK. So I don't need to be outside, so I don't feel free out this side. So I need to go back where my people are.
Yeah, and then you're gonna find a 6'5" uh, 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 muscular, big build woman in inverted commas that's gonna squeeze next to you on the DC underground, and that'll turn you off the red line for life.
Is that what happened to you? Yeah, man. I was like, no. So what do you do now? So you just order food? You don't cook? What do you do? Like you just eat takeout every day?
Not even I go to restaurants.
Every day?
I mean, the cooks there are professionals.
Hey, no, that can't be sustainable, man. Like, so you just wake up, breakfast, dinner, lunch, you just at a restaurant.
Well, I do get invited for a lot of breakfasts, a lot of dinners, a lot of lunches, you know. So that makes it reasonable. But my mates where I live, they cook as well, so they cook often.
Yeah, okay, okay, yeah. No, hopefully this year I'll see you at least once in the kitchen, at least.
Yeah, no, I need to. As soon as I get like a membership at a rec center and I start going to gym, I'm gonna need to cook, obviously, because you can't keep up a gym body with restaurant food. It's very expensive.
You're trying to get built,
Not really. I'm just trying to get bigger.
trying to get bigger.
Yeah,
Who
you
you
know,
trying to scare, Nota? Who you trying to scare, fam?
not even. You know how big people are this side.
People are massive, bro.
You understand? So now I'm like, hey, I can see that. No, you're looking at this guy thinking, this guy.
No, I get it.
Yeah, that's all.
I actually never talked to you. How was did the space launch? How was that? Was it everything you wanted it to be?
It was more.
It was more. You enjoyed
It was.
yourself.
It inspired me to say, I want to die on Mars.
Wow, wasn't I telling you to start a colony on Mars and you're refusing?
Yeah, but I hadn't gone to the launch yet. So now I've even found a person that can train me to actually be in a starship and everything else. So what he does is he's done. His name is Reed Stowe. You can Google him. He's world famous now. He spent 3 years on his yacht sailing around the world by himself.
Okay.
Imagine 3 years alone.
Hey,
Hey, yeah.
3 years
So
sailing around the world in his yacht.
alone. So what he's doing now is he's training astronauts that are going to be sent to Mars because they're going to need to spend 9 months on that spaceship
What makes him
to
qualified to be training astronauts?
because he knows how to survive on a small boat for 3 years by himself.
But you said it was a yacht.
Yeah, yes, but a spaceship is a ship as well. It's like a yacht. It's not like you can get outside of the bounds of the. It's not a. It's not even a yacht. It's a boat. You know what I mean? It's not.
Hey, but you can swim in the water. You can't swim in space.
Yes, but you don't need to swim in space. You can spacewalk.
So this guy is now training. Is he working with NASA?
Yeah, yeah. He's working with SpaceX.
Yeah, I think we might have lost Nota here.
I said he's working with SpaceX.
Oh, yeah, here. Okay, okay. I was like, where you go? Oh, he's working with SpaceX. Okay, okay, okay. So that's the
Mm.
guy who's training you.
He's training people. So go to his website. It's marsoceananalogs.com.
Mars. Let me even go there right now. Mars Ocean.
Marsanalogs.com.
Okay.
Marsoceananalogs.com.
Why Mars?
It's the nearest, least hostile planet to go to, obviously.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing this. Yeah, I'm seeing the episode. The Jack's Duster.
Read. Go to about. Read it. Tell people who this guy is.
Okay, let me go to the about. So this guy spent 1,152 days nonstop at sea, the longest sea voyage in history. Okay. Isolation is not something to survive. It is a gift, an opportunity to evolve.
Mm-hmm. Talk about alone time.
Okay. So above all stresses, the durations of the missions will impose the greatest burdens and extract the most severe tolls on the humans involved. That's space travel.
Mm.
Okay. So this guy is a loner.
No, actually, he's got a beautiful model girlfriend. who's like 2 inches taller than me. Her
How do you
name is
know that?
Maxine.
Why did you
I
know
mean,
about the 2 inches, Nota?
because like I stood next to her. Obviously, I've hugged her before. I know her. I've hung out with this guy, dude. Like it's not some guy I met on the internet. I actually met him.
You met him in Texas?
No, he's in New York.
Was in New York? Okay, okay.
Mm. He's got a studio in Chelsea. It's like an art gallery and a studio and an office, and then his boat is docked in Jersey City.
Okay. So here it's saying the longest sea voyage in history in June 2010 to 2010. Now, as humans seek to go on mission to Mars, the importance of preparing astronauts psychologically to be away from security of land in an isolated, high performance, life and death environment is more relevant than ever. So he's teaching people about surviving psychologically when you're like basically trapped and you can't get outside.
Yeah, when you're like, dude, Pella, it's like returning to the womb. It takes 9 months to get to Mars.
Mm,
You understand what I'm saying? So imagine the psychological toll it's going to take on people.
okay. So this guy,
So
so that's
yeah.
his business. He's training people.
So yeah, I'm also going to go on this 3-week training camp. We sail from the port of Miami to New York City, and then I think it's teams of 3 to 5, and then yeah, you learn all the
How much
skills.
is it to train?
I don't know. You'd have to go and get the details, but I'm doing it as part of a documentary that I'm filming.
Oh yeah, yeah, documentary filmer now. Hey, Nota does everything.
No, no,
That'll be
no.
dope,
I'm not.
actually.
I'm producing the documentary and starring in it. So it's basically about a South African guy who's a space enthusiast, and then he goes to Starbase to watch the Starship rocket launch, and then he decides after that you know what, he wants to die on Mars, and then he goes on a journey of training himself to be an astronaut so that he can fulfill his dream of
That's actually pretty dope.
having his life end on Mars. So yeah, it's a documentary about me.
You know what? Like, I don't think there'll be any other place fitting for your burial than Mars. Like, if everyone knew that Nota is buried on Mars, like that'll be the most gangster shit you can ever do, man.
It is that.
It is.
It is.
I'm even
Yeah,
thinking
that's that.
about it. I thought I wanted to die and be buried as a tree or some shit, but now I also want to be on Mars now.
You know exactly, dog.
I get the vision,
Exactly.
bro. I get the vision. Like, because land on Earth is becoming scarce. You know, like how these days, even burying someone in a cemetery is, there's not enough land. Like, too many people not want to build houses. So
Well,
if they actually
it
made like
depends.
planets
You don't.
burial grounds, that'll make sense.
Nah, man. Nah, man. There's more than enough land to bury everyone that has ever lived.
They're making those things like they put you in like containers now. Like, they're not
In
burying. Like in
pods.
the UK, for example, there's no space. So they put you in those cold whatevers, and then you just be cold in there forever. Like,
Yeah, the UK doesn't have space. The
yeah. So
UK
we're
doesn't have
gonna
space,
get
but
there at
that's
some point.
well. Let's say England doesn't have space. England doesn't have space, but I mean, Scotland has got lots of space left. You know.
Yeah, but the population of the world is growing, right? So I'm just saying there's gonna be a time when land is really, really scarce. So
The population is growing in some places and shrinking in others. I mean,
yeah.
China's population has decreased. Japan's population has been decreasing for a number of years. Um, you know, and Europe's population is decreasing as well. If you discount the rampant illegal immigration, uh, you know, so populations are shrinking. The replacement rate is 2.6. So you need to have 2.6 babies to ensure that population stays constant.
Yeah.
For population to grow, you need to have more than 3 babies um, as an average. So right now, we're not looking good, and our fertility rates are also dropping. You
Well, it
know,
depends where. African fertility rates are still fairly high, I think.
Yeah, that's because only 10% of Africans got vaccinated. But those of us who've been vaccinated, we know that our fertility has been compromised because that was
You
really their
know,
mission.
I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about. Yeah. I mean, this might be personal, but I feel like even my libido has decreased since I took that vaccination shit.
I won't lie. I can
You
relate, bro. I can relate.
can relate, huh? I don't know,
I,
man. Like I used to be powerful back in
ever
the
since
day,
I took,
but since that
yeah,
vaccine,
ever
hey,
since I
man.
took the vaccine, you know what I think of? I think of the feeling I get after having sex. You know, the post nut clarity.
Yeah,
I have that feeling before.
interesting.
So, I've got no desire for it. And people like, especially here in America, people are very like forward. Like they're expecting you to be like out there, you know. And I'm like, dude, I like company. Let's have conversations. Let's play chess.
You want to be playing chess with models? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I do, though.
That's what I do. Flat
You
out.
know, no, but I mean, that's what I do. It's not a flex. That's what I do. I just don't. I like hanging out. Let's go to an art gallery. Let's look at art. Let's do an activity, and let it not lead to us now be sitting on your couch awkwardly, wanting to have, you know. Mm,
I mean, you're still a man, dog. You still get urges, you know.
nah, 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 nah.
So you're saying this is because of COVID? You've become like this
I
because
think
of the vaccine?
after dude, I realized it while I was still living with my wife. I just realized that, she'd annoy me by wanting to be all on me. And I'm like, no, like, I'm not in the mood. Like, at first I thought it's because, like, I'm like, dude, the world is burning around us.
Yeah.
And when you want us to,
Damn.
be
Yeah, man.
huddled.
I'm actually
But,
thinking about it now for real. I'm like, shit. It makes sense.
but now that the world is not burning around us anymore, I'm like, why do I feel like this? Still, maybe that's what made her feel like she wasn't being loved enough. She was like, this guy, he'd rather be on Instagram Live
That's right.
and on Twitter Spaces with his international, or I mean, his internet homies, instead of you know
Yeah.
cuddling. Mm. Actually, she once told me that she's like, "You don't even hold me." I was like, "That's ridiculous."
Hey, man. Physical touch is very important, Nota. We have to admit.
Hey, I, and then COVID
Sorry,
tells you
can I
that people
chime
have
in?
got. I'm saying physical touch is important, but then COVID told us not to touch one another, and you know what I mean. So like, no,
That's
those
true.
habits die hard. Yeah, sorry, chime in.
There's actually a study that showed that uh, during COVID, a lot of mental health issues actually arised. Like, in fact, uh, the effects probably won't be known for years to come. Because imagine two people, people are social creatures, and you're stuck together. You can't go out. You can't, get the outlet you used to have. And that's why divorce rates skyrocketed, I think, all over the world during COVID. So it's a
Imagine. I mean, I during COVID, I got married, and then my wife left.
she'll come back. She just needs to.
I doubt it.
No, no,
I doubt it.
honestly, I'm in a similar situation, and it happened over COVID. And luckily,
I I, d-
I
I
don't know,
doubt it, bro.
okay, you might not have. We have a child together, so that's the only vehicle I
You see?
actually have to actually get her to come back and say, "Oh, Yati, there's actually this thing that is there, that we both didn't know was there. And actually, if we knew it was there, we could have handled things differently." Yeah,
Look,
well,
I'm still faithful to my wife, but I'm not. like holding my breath for her to come back. You know. So yeah.
Have you gone to therapy?
No, she refuses. She doesn't want a therapist to diagnose her
It,
for
it's not
what she's
about
going through.
diagnosis. It's about like, because that's actually the language. Not to hate on you or to make it seem but like that's actually some of the things I used to say. Because I mean, I could see what's happened here. Yeah, well, and that's actually the language that sort of makes people want to move further away. But the actual act is coming from a good place. Be like, something happened, and I can, like, you're in a position to help her see what happened for her own well-being, not just for now but for long term, even if it's not with you. Ukuthi akhone
Chief,
ukuthi understand ukuthi, oh, ngimove lonjani, this is what I've been through. Because
I understand that, but I cannot help a person who refuses to go to therapy. And then when she goes to a podcast and she's interviewed and asked, she lies and says she has therapy every Friday. You know what I mean? It's like,
maybe it's not with you.
oh, it- I'm telling you, like I tried to investigate who she might be speaking to from a therapy perspective, and it was like someone who's got a falsified certificate. It's not even a qualified therapist, stuff like that. I pay lots of money for medical aid so she can get the best qualified therapist, and she refuses to go to any of them. Um, you know, she uses the medical aid for flu medication. Um, so like this, you can't force someone, guys. You know what I mean? And in the world that we live in right now, the attack on men, if you ever do anything that you might deem necessary for your family, you might catch a charge. You know what I
Been
mean?
there.
And the public is unforgiving of men. So I'm not trying to catch a charge, dog. Like I'm a public persona. So I'm at really high risk. It affects my work prospects. When you are less known and people don't know you, and your business is not dependent on your public image,
Ouch.
you can do certain things. But because I'm in the position I'm in, dude, like, dude, when a woman starts screaming, I have to run. Because if there's a video of me screaming back at a woman that's screaming at me, I'll be looked at as the aggressor or some sort of abuser.
Then
You
you
know,
go
but,
back to the
but
roots of, they might say it's not relevant anymore, but go back to the roots of Gucci. And basically that's sort of quote unquote what you're working with. You basically have to, it's my belief, it might not be popular Western, they'll be like, let her have her way. But if you, I believe to a certain extent, other people might think you're crazy, but if you care for someone, you might do whatever it takes, even if it's not quote unquote above board or whatever. And it's a difficult path to juggle, because other people will be like, hey, this person is crazy, he's being overboard. But you might know what you're trying to achieve for this person you care and love for, even though they might not see it.
I do see that, but having been sectioned myself and having my family put me in an institution forcibly, you know, I know how angry it made me, you know. So so knowing how my wife responds when she's angry about things, she doesn't respond like a normal, reasonable human being. Like I can't even have a normal, reasonable conversation with her. I can't speak to her like, and then Sizwane, and I tell her how I'm feeling. Like, my feelings are completely disregarded. I tell her how she feels, how I feel, and she's like, "Oh, fuck you. I don't give a fuck how you feel. This is what I think, whatever," and that's it. And so we can't even have a discussion. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like talking to an ice block or
Have
someone who
you,
doesn't have a heart.
has she ever been in a car accident?
Yes, she has.
Look up concussions and TBI, and see if you might see something there.
Concussions and what?
TBI, traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, traumatic brain injury, childhood trauma, all of that put together. Abandonment, not being raised by one's parents, being raised by a grandparent, the dislocation of family. She's gone through all of those things. So I understand where she comes from. I mean, if I didn't understand, I would have just said, you know what, let me punish her, get myself a nice fly girlfriend, you know, from one of the thousands of fly girls in my DMs and move
Wenana.
on.
No, but
No,
look it up.
but
Look up TBI. It's actually a very
mm,
it's in America they call it I think 1 in 60 people have it, and I think almost 80% of people don't get diagnosis until maybe later on in life when they start developing other symptoms. They call it the hidden disability. It's something that my I realized my wife has. She would do
NFL
exactly the
players.
same thing you exactly, but it gets more subtle, like with NFL players, because it's been ongoing for over years. But sometimes it takes just one for actually a person to have lifelong subtle symptoms, so that other people, when you tell them, would say this person is like this, they'll be like, you crazy, this sweet person, Lomnat, this nice person, this kind person. But
Mm.
behind closed doors, she becomes something else, like almost a monster.
An actual monster, not
It's
almost. An
yeah,
actual
loses her
monster.
temper easily. It's like she doesn't appreciate whatever you do. Like you do things and be like, oh, but I've been doing this, and then she'll be like, oh, who asked you? Things like that.
Yo, dude,
It is
and
super
that hurts.
sweet, super nice.
That hurts.
Exactly.
That hurts. That hurts.
Yabo.
And you trust me, that's exactly
And then
what I've been.
sometimes she'll
I've
do
been going
things,
through that.
and the next
You
day
know what I
she's
mean?
super loving, and she's like, oh, baby, I love you, I care for you.
Yeah.
Mm. And
Yesterday.
and also
Sorry, guys. Can I just say
and
a word as well on
like
the?
something as simple as
Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, we're
Yeah.
listening.
Do you hear me?
Yo,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm listening to you guys as you talk about. Yeah. Can you hear me?
we hear you loud and
Yeah,
clearly,
dog,
bro.
we're listening to you.
It's almost the same thing that I'm having with my girlfriend as well. So it's like I'm listening to Nota as he.
Yeah, continue,
Yeah,
brother.
like she's also kind of that same person. She's also gone through some child between her yeah between her and her father. So she's actually kind of like angry at her father because he abandoned her. So they kind of like is that when they reconciled, her father was like giving her money, all those kind of things, but she wanted a relationship then. So what's happening now? So her father is married again to another woman. They're separated from her mother. So every time when we have a little conversation or an argue or something like that, she always brings up about how men are useless and stuff like that, and everything like how men are so. Been trying to talk to her that she can go to therapy or we can get therapy stuff like that just to resolve this issue that she has. But besides that, she's a very nice, kind person, loving. But she has that thing with it, and it's always like I'm always like
So
I think she'll get some help in future, or she'll come around and she'll. I don't express
she
myself because I
won't
feel
get
like it will affect her in a way, and
she
she'll see
won't get
men
help.
as one as those kind of people that she sees her father as. So
Yeah. So she won't get help because
it's
her fear is that if she goes and gets
just something that's
a professional diagnosis and
I can't really
comes
fully express myself to her my feelings.
I
It's
know
like
exactly.
men are those kind of people who are less responsible or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's I don't know, but
And you feel like a
she
prisoner
can
in
talk.
your own home.
Yeah,
You can't respond. You can't have emotional expressions, any of that stuff. Now, the thing that stops
exactly.
her from
You know,
wanting to
you
seek
can't really talk.
professional help, she wants to go to a therapist that will tell her that
Yeah,
no, there's nothing wrong with her. She's fine,
she,
whatever. She just needs to
yeah,
come every week and then give her 600 rand every week. So she'll go to all these false, fake therapists that, lie to people just to make money. And she'll refuse to actually get the appropriate help that she needs because she feels like, and this is because of a damaged
exactly,
attachment. She feels that if she gets a diagnosis and they say there's something wrong with her or she's mentally ill, that you will then give up on her and abandon her. So she doesn't want to put herself up for that. So she'd rather, you know, display toxic traits. But with you not
exactly. I
confronting
think
it, you are enabling it in a way. So with me, what I did is that I decided to confront it. I decided to stop enabling it. And as soon as I confronted it and I said, "Yo, you need to get help," and everything else, that's when she decided, okay, no, she needs to
okay.
go because rather than confirm what is wrong with her, she'd rather live in the falsehood. So you know what, my brother, um, man, that's commendable,
Yeah, because
and I'm glad that you love your girlfriend because loving someone is not really about you know you liking the things that they do, but it's about accepting that people are works in progress from the moment they are born until they ultimately die. You're a constant work in progress, and you hold out hope and
yeah,
your commitment. And I just wish you strength. There's a lot of us that go through
yeah.
this and then we get
Because here
thrown
in
in the rubbish bin as dogs.
ex-
Oh, sorry, Nota. I think there's a speaker, Tanya, who has a hand up. I think it would be nice to get a woman's perspective on this issue as well.
Yeah, and I also think TikTok is to blame. If you watch the content that your girlfriend watches on TikTok, and you see what she's exposed to, for me, like I used to just listen to some of the stuff that my wife would be watching on TikTok, and all of it is about I'm a woman, I do everything myself, I don't need a man, which implies I don't want a man, and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, how is the algorithm feeding you this thing? Because the algorithm feeds you stuff that you are more inclined to watch. So if you're watching this stuff, which means that deep down inside you've got these similar feelings. And she liked the series Girlfriends, which is about women who embrace their singlehood as if it's like a badge of honor. And that's not why God brought us to earth, to die alone and stuff like that. So if you want to idolize the girls on Girlfriends, and incidentally, they are all black women, and you juxtapose it with like Sex in the City, where the girls lived their single life, but eventually most of them wanted to settle down and get married and have families, which is what broke up the gang. Remember, it shows you that the content that we're being shown, especially for black women, the representation that they get is of misandry. Like black women are being trained by the media, social media, to be misandrous and to hate men. And some of them don't have issues with men in their lives or their fathers, but they feel left out if they don't have issues. So they then create those issues so that they can be like the rest of the girls that they see on TikTok.
Yeah, I just want to also just let Tanya. Tanya, go ahead and go off mute, and you can speak if you'd like to.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry, I don't really have much to contribute to this discussion. But when I saw Nota online, I was like, I have to take this opportunity to say hello. So, hi, Nota. It's Tanya.
Tanya, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm, I've got good news for you. I just sent my passport to VFS.
Oh, amazing, man. Oh, you know
So
what? It's so refreshing seeing you on a space, being given the opportunity to speak and not being attacked and ridiculed and made fun of. This is what I wish for you, Nota, is that like people can literally just come and listen and engage with your content and share ideas in a healthy space, right? So, oh, this is what I always wish for. And my concern around the spaces in the past when you would join was like how you were never given a chance to speak and you were attacked and verbally abused, and it really just broke my heart. And I think you know on a personal level how I would DM you afterwards like, dude, this is not okay. So my heart is really happy this morning to see what's going on here. And yeah, man, it's so good to hear your voice, and I'm so glad that you're good and yeah, living your best life.
yeah, thank you. I think also the environment changed. You know, um, so there's a lot of deprivation that comes with the desperation of a country that is in economic turmoil and that is in collapse. So people are just, projecting their feelings about what they see happening in their lives. And you know they make people like me a punching bag. Fortunately for me, I don't mind being an emotional punching bag because I'm able to see through. um I'm able to see through it, so it didn't really get me down. uh but it gave me a good sense of the sentiment of those who feel like the world has dealt them um, the worst hand possible and who feel like they can't reshuffle the deck. So I approach such people with a lot of empathy as well. I don't harbor any hatred or any ill will to those people. But if someone says something that upsets me, I'm not afraid to express myself and be upset. But it's not like I then turn to hating that person that has upset me.
Oh wow. Okay. Did that did that girl get hurt?
Yo,
Sorry.
I think
Yeah,
Tanya
actually,
is
not. I was
done.
gonna say you do seem happier since you came to the States, man. So I think I've seen you more chill, more calm. No one is stressing you like that. You're just doing your thing, going to your space stations. Trying to go on Mars. You know, like I can actually see it. Like I think you're more peaceful. So that's what I was gonna say from the earlier conversation. That like I like what
Yeah,
you're saying. I think you're now more protecting your peace. You're protecting yourself. Like you don't want to be put in a situation where someone is doing something, and because of your reaction, people perceive you a certain way. You don't want to put yourself in those positions. Like, I think you've been reading your Bible a lot these days. In the Bible, they even say, if you see it coming, run away, Baba. Run. Like
that's
if you
it.
see something, run. You don't want to be caught there. So I think
Exactly.
I think I've seen you embrace that a lot more now. So maybe you must never just go back to South Africa, man. This is home.
Well, truth be told, it is home, and a lot of my anger while being back in South Africa was that I'd already planned my relocation, I already planned everything, and as it was happening, you must remember, like I lived in New York for 6 months in 2019, practically, you know, in two stints of 3 months each. And when I went back home in December, I was going back home to collect all my things and wait until the end of the winter to come back. And then when COVID came, I was now stuck. I was trapped. Now I had
Mm.
to pivot. I had to re-strategize. I'd already rolled down my business. Like I'd already wrapped up everything that I was doing with my record label. Done all the releases that all my fiduciary obligations had been fulfilled. So now I've fulfilled my fiduciary obligations. My plan is, and then it stopped, and then I was stuck. So that also made me get frustrated as well. And I think people can sense it. Like if there's something that can trigger a reaction from a place of frustration, people will pick at the scab. They sense a weakness. So I had that weakness of being frustrated by not doing what I actually planned to do. And now that I'm at peace and, I'm I'm challenged again. A new environment is like you start from scratch,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
The other day I had to negotiate with a guy who was like not wanting to let me into a VIP. And I was like, I usually don't get that. Like, I usually don't have to have this discussion. And I was with a lady friend of mine, and she was like, "Dude, like, it's chill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the white folk around here get like this, so let's just call it a night. Go
Yeah.
back home." And I was like frustrated, but she could sense that, uh, out here they'll treat you like that, and she took the burden of me, obviously taking her to this place out of my hands and said, "You know what? I know you tried. We've had a great night already. We went, we had a party with other friends of mine and stuff like that, and you know, uh, there's another day, and we can go to another space where we'll feel more welcomed." And yeah, so I responded differently in that situation as well. Like, I just, what, I cut my losses. Ended up going in because, like, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna make it all the way out here and not go in.
Yeah.
And but after going in, I went in. I said, okay, fine, I'm in. And then I walked straight out the exit, and then I hailed the nearest Uber.
It's
And
never too deep, ne?
it's not too deep, dog. It's
It's
like
not.
in
It's never
father.
too deep. That's the thing. The stakes are different this side, but that's the thing as well. Like it's never too deep. But yeah, it seems like you're also more introspective. So from what you're saying, it sounds like you're reflecting a lot on just like, hey, this COVID thing affected me these last 3 years. When you're in SA, all that stuff. Now you're away from that. Now you've got time to actually think. Like, yo, what was going on?
Mm. And yeah, so having time to think, having time to consider, having time to come to terms with my feelings, and even like learning how to entertain bad thoughts, like things that are like self-destructive. Like before, I'd try to avoid them and whatever, and then I'd find myself doing something that I feel might be self-destructive. But now I like actually go through all the permutations, and after going through all the permutations, I it gets to the point of like the regret of the self-destructive actions. And then once I now come to terms with that regret, I'm more at ease, and then I'm able to avoid doing something that is self-destructive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So are you one of those, people that like, if there are things you regret, are you willing to reach out to certain people and apologize if there was something you wronged them in any way? Like, is that the next step, or is it just like, hey, I fucked up, but I regret it, and then I'm gonna get better? Like,
uh,
which way do you take?
I'm, I'm the type that apologizes when someone has wronged me.
Okay, so you don't apologize if you've wronged someone.
No, I apologize both ways, but I even apologize when someone has wronged me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know that I'll never get an apology out of those people, because whatever issues are preventing them from admitting their own faults and admitting that they're human beings and fallible, you know. So, I'm like I'm very forgiving. I had to learn to forgive myself because I felt like I put myself in situations where I was vulnerable, and
Mm.
and that is I had to learn a lot of forgiveness. Like I survived a lot of betrayal from very close people, and only people that are really close to you can actually betray you. So I survived betrayal from close family members. you know like I was
Yeah.
put in a mental institution by my siblings and my parents, you know and I had to forgive them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to be like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna be angry at them, but I know that they won't apologize, but that's on them. If they don't want to actually have a relationship with their own family member because they've got too much pride. I've
Mm.
got too much love to allow myself to be poisoned by pride.
Now that's good. So you feel like you're reinventing yourself.
Not really reinventing myself. I'm just accepting who I am. You know what I mean? And not feeling like who and what I am needs me to put up a wall or a shield around myself. I don't need to protect myself from bad people because I'm a good person. And by just being a good person, I make bad people feel uncomfortable enough for them not to want to keep me around. So they'll eventually, find someone else they can leech off of once they get once they don't get the reaction that they're trying to get out of me. So like yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I know you say you don't like Japan, but I think you'd really love watching Naruto. Like, I think there's so many
No.
lessons.
I'm not. I never said I don't like Japan. I said like
And so for the record,
yeah, for the record, you know what I mean. It's just like I'm not like that obsessed with what is happening in Japanese culture because I find it, they isolate themselves in their own culture and are not accepting of other cultures as much as the rest of the world has become open to other cultures. You know,
yeah, no,
so
that's actually very true. Yeah,
yeah,
I know a lot of
yeah,
Japanese people don't like black people like that, so I understand that.
yeah. So yeah, it's just you know, they don't like Chinese people, and they colonize them. So it's like you know what I mean? It's like, you don't even feel a little bit of guilt. You burned like Confucius institutions to the ground and made
Mm,
people burn. They're like, hey, like, you guys have done some evil things. You know what I mean?
yeah, but bro, I'm actually
Yeah.
really excited for that documentary you're talking about. When are you gonna start filming that thing?
Well, I'm waiting for my director to arrive. He's just enjoying South Africa too much. For him, he's lucky. He's got white privilege in South Africa, so he's safe. You know,
Mm.
nobody wants to do anything to a white person because they know the consequences will be severe. Um, for me, it's a little bit different. It's you know, people want to do something to you to show that you're black just like them, and they can do whatever to you because blacks see themselves as less than human in South Africa. So
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, so but it's gonna be this year for sure.
we're shooting it this year, but what he's just completed his documentary. So he's been shooting a documentary that he's been doing, and I'm waiting for him to come here so that we can enter it at various film festivals, do screenings, and get funding so that we can market it properly and have like a proper release for it. Because I think the documentary that he's just shot is about to become a global sensation.
What's the
Um,
documentary about?
it's about the captive bred tiger population of Boksburg and Benoni. Like South Africa has got a population of over 6,000 captive bred tigers because the law in South Africa doesn't allow people to captive breed wild animals, but exotic animals that are wild animals from other countries are not seen as wild animals. So you're not able to have a tiger. I mean, you're not able to have a lion in your house, but you're able to have a tiger.
Oh.
Yeah. So, um, that, 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 and the fact that, uh, um, COVID came, and a lot of these tiger breeders in South Africa were selling their tigers in international markets. Once COVID came, they couldn't sell them to foreigners. So a whole lot of people were keeping a whole lot of tigers in their backyards. And then the neighbor picks over the backyard and says, "Hey, you got a tiger?" And he said, "Actually, I've got a couple of tiger pups that I'm trying to get rid of." And you're like, "How much are you selling them for?" 40,000 rands. I've only got 10,000 rands. I'll take it. You know, it's fine. And then all of a sudden, the entire neighborhood, everybody's got tigers. Because what's going to happen when your child comes back from school and on their way back from school, they see that their neighbor's got a tiger? They're going to say, "Daddy, I want a tiger as well." Everybody in the neighborhood has tigers. And now there's a population of 6,000.
That's crazy. I know I
And
saw
that's,
some video of a tiger. It might have actually been in Benoni, like so. That's what that shit
yes,
was. People be keeping
that's
tigers as pets.
You understand? It's crazy.
That's wild, man. I didn't even know that.
So my guy has spent a year, and even when that story broke out, he was busy filming the documentary and interviewing people. So he's been traveling, and he even interviewed that guy. So he's been traveling around the country, interviewing people that have been keeping tigers. There's another guy that keeps them in Limpopo as well, and yeah. So I think like when COVID started, there was that whole entire Tiger King.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So are these tigers domesticated?
They're not domesticated. They're just bred in captivity.
Oh, so they keep them in cages?
Yeah, in their backyards.
So just for vibes. They don't like walk around the yard chilling. They just like keep them locked up.
Well, they've got big enough cages. In Boxburg, the houses have got big yards. So, but a tiger is a solo predator. A tiger needs 80 square kilometers of land to roam on.
Yeah.
And they've got that in India and where they come from. You know what I mean? But in your backyard, they don't have that. So it's very inhumane to keep them in captivity. They cover
I didn't even know
an
about
area much larger than that lion prides cover.
So this guy is doing this documentary to expose these tiger breeders.
He's already done it.
Is it like to bring light to the issue?
Not to bring light. It's just a story. He do a documentary about it, and so right now he's in editing. He just finished shooting. He finished shooting 2 weeks ago. He finally finished shooting 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I'm gonna be looking for it because, I mean, hey, once if you're saying this documentary is gonna be massive, then it means that like these animal welfare, whoever's, once they hear about this, it's gonna be a wildfire. So
it's gonna be massive. Just think about like a lot of the content that does the best from Africa and South Africa in particular. I mean, the top 10 YouTubers from South Africa shoot wildlife content. The number one YouTuber from South Africa makes over $1 million a year, and he shoots only wildlife content as well. And people from all around the world, they watch a lot of wildlife content from Africa. So that on its own, there's already a market for it.
Yeah.
And then in India, tigers are native, so there's an interest in that. In China as well, in Russia. But I mean, just between India and China, with those populations, and them seeing their native animals being bred in captivity in South Africa, that will spark their interest as well. They'll have an emotional reaction to that. They'll be interested in the story. So it's a type of story. Yeah.
That's wild, man. I didn't even know there were tigers in South Africa. Like that's crazy. So yeah, depending on how this thing goes, if you're saying this guy is going to be doing your documentary, then
VFS just sent me an email. Okay, good. VFS just sent me an email. They just processed my visa application. Almost there.
Where are you going now, Nota? You're tired of the US?
No, I'm going to the UK.
My guy, you won't like it there.
No, I'm just going for a visit, dog. I'm not...
Me, I left those trenches and I was like, I'm not going back.
Yeah, well, I'm going there to do some stuff in the summer.
Bro, the US is the best place to be in the summer. You don't have to go to the UK.
I'm going there for a week, bro. Don't worry.
Okay, that's okay.
Well, for 10 days, actually. Yeah, dude, like, the rent is so expensive in New York. You don't want to be away from your place for too long.
This is why I don't know why you're living in New York. You should be living, actually, no, but DC is also expensive.
It is. It's the same. It's the same. But no, I've decided that when I have my first child, and the child is now big enough and I need a yard for him to play in, I'm going to get myself a house in Bethesda in Maryland. So that's right next to DC.
Yeah. You liked it there,
Schools
but
there are
it's nice.
nice. The community there is nice as well. You know, people are still friendly there. They're friendly like people in Texas are friendly. You know, in Texas, people greet you in the streets. Like that is normal. When you greet someone in the street, they don't snarl at you.
Mm. Yeah. It's a culture shock, you know. If you're used to that thing, then you go to like cities like New York or like even DC, people don't be smiling at you like that. So it's definitely different. Yeah, we might have lost Nota, I think. Tanya, I think your hand's up. Did you want to say something as well? But if you want to say something to Nota, it looks like he's gone, so you might come back.
Yeah, I had my hand up 10 minutes ago. Your conversation has evolved 100 times since then. So I've actually lost my train of thought.
Apologies.
Um,
I was saying,
no, it's
I
all
was saying,
good.
I'm coming to the UK soon, so yeah, we can grab a coffee.
Okay. Oh, wow. Does it sound like I'm in the UK?
Weren't you in the UK at some point?
No, it must be another Tanya. Definitely not me.
Oh, so you okay, cool. Where are you based?
I'm based in South Africa.
Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, don't give your exact location.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, it seems like we've lost Nota. Um,
No,
yeah, but maybe
that's me.
before
It's me.
I
I'm
jump
back.
off.
I'm back.
He's back.
Oh, you
This is
back?
Nota.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I employed a co-host so that when my signal does its thing, you know, at least the space won't be lost.
Okay. No, I was just saying to the forest that when I put my hand up, you guys are talking about something that was of interest. And because you guys have been talking for so much, like a lot of topics have been discussed, and I've actually lost my train of thought. So I don't even remember why I put my hand up. Um, so I just actually no, I do remember now. Um, yeah, man, North, I just wanted to just commend you for owning what it is that you stand for, especially for Black women,
Mm,
Black South African women.
yeah,
And what you preach and what you stand for is exactly what our fathers taught us growing up. That it's important to work hard, that it's important to be educated, that it's important to be pursued, and because that type of character and those type of values attract high value men that understand the importance of a woman, right?
yeah,
And it's so unfortunate that because of everything that's been going on and like social media and all this heresy that it's pushing, you almost look like a lunatic when actually everything that you've been speaking about is literally going back to basics. If I can even say Bible basics, right? So I just want to say that I hear you and I see you, and a lot of people do as well. I've got 4 beautiful kids, 3 of which are girls, and everything that you speak about is exactly what my husband instills in them as well. So if anything, I just want to encourage you to keep going because it might not be in the short term, but maybe in the long term, you actually might save somebody's life because of the messages that you're sharing, it actually might save somebody's life. So I just want to thank you and encourage you to keep at it and to stick to your truth and don't allow bullies and social media and stupid people, for lack of a better word, to discourage you from speaking what is actually important. So yeah, that's my submission. Thanks, guys.
no, thank you. Thank you. You know, I have to thank my dad because, you know, um, when I was younger and more rebellious, you know, I hadn't done the work that it takes for my dad to actually admire me as a man. But the tough love that he gave me, like, yo, go out there and make yourself something, and then we can have um, a, a discussion as equals, you know, where your perspective carries enough weight. I know that you've seen enough to actually have a valid input on things. And yeah, so I had to do that, and then my dad opened up more to me, and started seeking my counsel in a lot of things, and also gives me the support and says, yo, stand by your convictions. As a man, you need to, you need to stand in that fire, and show that you're impervious to it. So yeah, my dad has helped me a lot, you know. Um, Even now, like, I always have long conversations with my dad, and discussions, and we disagree on certain things and help persuade each other on certain things that we might not have broad enough perspectives of. And yeah, that and given me a lot of confidence. So no, thank you for the words of affirmation, Tanya. I appreciate it, and yeah, all the best with your growing family and your three empresses and your young king. Yo, so
You think you want to bring your parents to the US, Nota?
yeah, I am. They're just waiting for their visas because, like, I always wanted my dad to take us to Disneyland, and he could never afford to take us. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So now that I can afford to take him, you know, I still want to do it, and I didn't want to go to Disneyland by myself. I wanted to go to Disneyland with my dad. So, yeah,
Ah, that's nice, man. That's nice.
yeah,
Yeah, to the people listening, it's good to take care of your parents. It's good. You must show them the good life. Like it's good to, it's like paying them back, for even putting you in this position that you're in. So I think it's
yeah,
always a wonderful thing if you can give back.
yeah. And I
Can I
mean,
ask?
I went on, yeah, yeah, anything.
Um, okay, not to be a dampener of the mood, but uh, in some of you, you've praised your father a lot, but you've also, in some of your tweets, criticized your mother and said a few unpleasant things about her. Obviously, we don't know what has happened, but I don't know. Would you be able to
No, look,
elaborate on that?
so if you say my dad is a douchebag, you're gonna get like 50,000 retweets, 20,000 likes. You say if you say my mom is a narcissist, people are gonna say, "Oh, how can you say that about your mother?" Whatever. You know what I mean? Even if it's honest, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. It doesn't mean I love my mother any less. I don't disown her, but she's got narcissistic personality disorder, and that's just who she is. You know, and I know where it stems from, and understanding her and understanding how my father has been able to navigate his relationship with her, even with that, has also helped me to deal with my wife, myself. You know what I mean?
Again, not to, but wouldn't then a good position be sort of, since you understand her condition, to not quote unquote demonize her, but sort of empathize with her? Because, like, I think you empathize with your wife, and
No,
empathize with the other fathers and the other parents who have narcissistic mothers, etc., etc. Because I think mental illness is one of those issues that are still a bit taboo in society, but empathizing with them and not
it
demonizing
doesn't.
them is something that would actually help.
Yeah, but it's not about empathizing. And it's not about demonizing. It's just about expressing how one feels. I don't know if you listened to Elon Musk's space yesterday, like where someone was saying, some of the things that you say, they cost you money. People see you as like, it's like, dude, I'm a human being. We've got freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and I should be able to express myself in any way that I see fit. And so should everybody else. So, you know, Eminem made a career of disparaging his mother, but because he's white, he's got the white privilege of being forgiven. You know, because I'm black, I need to now. pretend as if my mother is some sort of saint or some sort of angel, and she's not. She's a human being who's fallible, who I love her through her faults. I don't stop loving her. Dude, my mother blocked my number from calling my dad. You understand
Was
what I'm
it the
saying?
same mother who
Now,
through her employment through ESCOM got your cousin and your sister through college?
no, no. She got my sister a bursary because of where she works. Like it's one of
Yes.
the perks of her work. That's a perk of
Yes.
her work. So now,
Yes.
because you've got a perk at your work that allows you to bursar your children or partially bursar your children, the only reason she was able to do that was because my dad was making enough money so that she could cover incidentals. You know what I mean? She wouldn't have never been in that position without my dad. She had a job, like just a basic job, just like anybody else. And it's the same mother who's got a duty to protect her children. But if the mother is actually destroying the lives of her children through her actions, it should not
Is
now
she
be.
doing it from a place of wellness, or is she doing it from, something
It's
that's going on with her?
no. You see, so by the time you become a parent, you need to have gone through all your childhood trauma. You
In
can't
an
now bring your
ideal
child.
situation,
Not, no, not in an
in an
ideal
ideal
situation.
situation,
No. In a situation where you don't have access to information, you don't have medical aid, you can't go to therapy and all that stuff. You must remember that this is the same mother that I took to therapy for 6 months and emerged from that therapy, and she didn't change anything, and she refused to go to therapy to actually get treatment herself. So again, you can judge me, but now you're just judging me because you've got a certain image of what a mother should be, and that is not what my mother is. You know what I mean?
no, but
She's
that's sort of the point I'm saying, is that we're all different. I don't know. There's a new topic called It's not
so
neuron. It's
so so so
divergency.
so so
In
so
that our brains are
yeah, that's
wired
fine.
differently, right? For example,
That's true.
you're an
That's true.
intelligent
But
man.
watch this. Watch this. I want to go to Disneyland with my dad, but I know that my dad will not be happy going without his wife there. So I'm taking both my parents so they can both be happy. Because it's not like I hate my mother. I
But
love my mother.
I
It's my mother.
get what you're saying,
So
and I agree with you.
so
But here's
so
what I'm
now the
saying.
thing
I'm
is
saying
that
if
because but
any
you're not
other
hearing
mother,
what I'm saying.
I do.
Every mother, right? Every mother right now, because of the way in which the world has now decided to say women are saints. You know what I mean? They are beyond reproach. It means that you cannot be honest or critical of any woman because you'd be looked at as a misogynist. Anyone who's critical of women, if a woman is out there selling herself as a prostitute, you can't even be critical of that because you're a misogynist and you're saying, oh, yeah, but you're dehumanizing yourself. So women are allowed to do bad things, and then the rest of the world needs to enable them because of feminism. You know what I mean?
Okay,
And
Nota,
all that
that's
is,
what I'm trying to say. Please hear me out. I'm saying,
yeah.
okay, like for example, there's an ideal mother. Like it's just like a reasonable
No,
person
there's no
standard.
ideal mother. There's a good
Okay,
mother,
no,
and
okay,
then there's a
please work
bad
with.
mother.
Okay, can I? Okay, like in court, there's something called a reasonable person standard, right? Is that this is the expectation of what a reasonable person will do, right? There's
Yeah,
that concept. So, for example, a mother is expected to love her child. A mother is expected to want the best for her child. A mother is expected to do what's best, right? That would be a reasonable expectation of a mother.
yeah.
I'm saying, right? What happens if a mother has a condition that prevents them from doing that? Right? Maybe it's
Yeah,
a
well,
mental illness, maybe it's a traumatic brain injury, or maybe it's something that keeps them from
child.
doing what's best for their child. What's the
Yeah,
approach
so
towards that? Should we be empathetic towards that mother and try to help that mother? Or should we be angry with this person who's unable to be a good mother?
no, it's not about if you are angry at an action that someone has done. You're allowed to express
Yes,
it. That's what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that not expressing it is exactly what enables women to feel like they need to be treated like children.
fully
They are
agree.
for
But
perpetual
then
mindedness.
that's where comes empathy, right?
Yeah. So the empathy is there. So I understand that, and I don't withdraw my love, even though I'm very critical of the bad actions. So what I'm saying is that if my father was doing things that are bad, I'd express it in the same way. My father's also done a lot of things which I don't agree with, and I express it in the same way. But no one ever calls me into question if I say something that they feel, might be disparaging my father. But as soon as it's your mother, oh, mothers are out of bounds. And that is what I'm saying is wrong. All human beings, are not beyond reproach. All of us are works in progress. And what that is doing is that we're creating a society where women have got no accountability, yet they demand agency that they haven't worked for, and that they haven't earned, because there's no accountability for their actions. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is to you, I
Is
went
that
through
a
a situation.
universal thing, or is that
It's now it's becoming a universal thing, because all of these things are mimetic. We mimic the behavior that we see or that we think is good or punchable. So men have got, accountability, because if you're a bad guy, someone's gonna punch you in the face. You know, if you're a bad woman and you're pretty, you are able to get away with it. You could be the most evil person in the world. Look at this Nandipa, Dr. Nandipa Makutumana.
Geba?
All of them, all of them, because they're pretty women. Everyone looks past all of that. Everything. They could be evil. They could take people's dead bodies. Sorry, man. Bury them somewhere weird. And hey, she's a woman and she's pretty. So, we must forgive her. So I'm saying that I went through a pandemic, right? Where I'd put myself in a position where I was financially secure and everything else, I was nice. And then I woke up one morning and then I had to drag my mother to the bank, where only when I got to the bank and it was now at the teller saying, show me what's on the screen, to realize that she totally cleaned out my life savings. Fortunately for me, I have a father who was able to pay back that debt, and it's not a small debt. You know what I mean? It's close on 2 million rands. You know what I mean? Of money that I put away for rainy days. And then in my rainy day, I find that it's been taken from me. You know what I mean? But now my father is 70 years old. You're asking a 70-year-old man to go out there and continue working to pay a debt that he did not incur. You understand? And he's doing that because he has to clean up his wife's mess. And his wife doesn't even have the decency to even apologize, or acknowledge that she's done wrong. And she feels to say, like, but you're my child, so I took your money. I don't care. You're my child. I carried you for 9 months.
What if she's
That's
not well?
you weren't. Her not being well is not an excuse for her not to get treatment so that she can be well, because she's able to get treatment for everything else. When she's got a back pain, she goes to a chiropractor.
But
You know
again,
what I
Nota,
mean?
you're an intelligent
But
man.
now you're making
You're.
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm
Don't
not
do that. I'm
making
not.
an excuse. I'm trying to
No.
sort
But
of
what I'm trying
put
to say is this.
context. I've been in the
Yes,
same situation.
I've got the context. Now, what I'm trying to say is this: being in that situation and then just enabling it and saying, "Oh, a woman is a child. She's a baby. She must never," is the wrong approach. Because what you're doing is that you're creating a society where women are saying, "Yes, but I'm a woman and I get away with everything. I get away with murder. So all women must be now allowed to get away with murder." What type of society are we building? And then what are
But
we saying to little boys? What are we saying to little boys? You understand what
okay,
I'm saying?
Nota, that's what I'm trying to say is that, okay, I don't think her, like what she did is sort of like the case study, or is how every woman is. That's why
Dude,
I'm saying, what if she
dude.
has a
Okay,
condition?
do
Because
hold on.
I don't think
Wait,
all
I just
women
want
are
to ask
like
you.
that. I
Hold
have a
on.
mother, a
Do
strong
do
mother,
do.
who's
But
actually supported me through
let's
it.
remove the mother. That's fine. Let's remove your mother from the situation, because you're relating it from your relationship with your mother. What I'm trying to say is this: in
I'm
general,
saying that's not reasonable human behavior. That's not
and
what
and
a
and
loving, caring parent or the standard of a reasonable person
what I'm
is.
trying to say is that there's no obligation for women to be reasonable, caring people anymore. because the fabric of society has broken down to a point where women have got no accountability for their actions.
But
That's what
I'm
I'm
saying
trying to say.
I disagree, because why? Because you are
You can
you are
disagree,
unhappy
but
about it.
you can
I'm
say,
unhappy that it
no,
happened about it.
I've given
And
you
we can
examples.
ask
That's
anyone
fine.
else here, they're also unhappy about it. They would say, no, that's not a good thing. Right?
That's fine.
Because
That's
a
fine.
few
Move that aside.
people are
But that
allowed.
doesn't explain. Wait. That doesn't explain why Dr. Nandi Pama Kutumani is seen as someone who's innocent and who should be freed. You understand what I'm saying?
No, no
That doesn't
one's. I
explain.
don't think
Oh,
people see her like that.
what do
We
you
can
mean, no
take a
one?
quick poll.
What?
Take a
What?
quick poll. I
What?
don't think, like, from the
Dude,
comments I've seen, people are even angry that she's looking nice. She's getting special treatment at the library and whatever. People
some
are
people,
angry.
the
Some
majority in the
people,
main, if
yes. But we can't
okay,
we
but
can't we can't
but
paint
hold
everyone with
on,
the
hold on.
same
Where are
brush.
the people? Okay, where are the people who are upset that she claimed 3 people's dead bodies? There's no outrage for that.
There is a lot of it on
No,
Twitter.
there
Like,
isn't.
even people are
No, there
making
isn't.
jokes with
There
inflation
isn't.
so high.
So what I do,
Okay, do a poll. Do a
but
poll. Do a
no, I
poll.
don't do polls. No, what I do is that I use AI sentiment trackers. So what the AI sentiment trackers do is that they look at a certain hashtag and they see what the sentiment is towards that person. You can even go to Google Bard and
So
say,
you're gonna
what do
trust the intelligence of multiple people you've said repeatedly overall are not intelligent.
but well, that's what I'm saying is that even if they're not intelligent, they are the majority. The
Yes, the
unintelligent
majority doesn't
majority.
make it right. Remember,
Exactly.
like, even
But
racism,
so then
at
how do
some
we
point
fix
in
it?
time, the
So how do you
majority
fix it?
thought
How do you fix
racism
it?
was
If you say,
okay.
okay, women, you guys can do whatever you want. You can slaughter people, you can chop off their heads, you can rape babies, you can do whatever you want. Just have a field day.
Who
Then what
killed
happens to
Flabber?
society?
What happened to the lady who killed Flabber?
Are people attacking her? Are people saying, oh, no? They will say,
What
oh,
happened to
okay.
her?
What do you mean?
She got
What do you
arrested.
mean?
She was
She got
jailed.
arrested.
She was sentenced.
For how long? She's out now. Had it been a
she
man that killed a woman in that situation, and please don't even bring up the Flubber thing, because Flubber was a friend of mine. I was actually
I'm
supposed to
sorry.
meet
I'm
him the day
sorry.
that he died. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was actually
I'm
supposed to
sorry,
meet him the
but
day
I'm
that he
saying
died.
there
I
is
was supposed to
justice. It might not be.
wait. Listen to me. I was supposed to go with him to the video shoot that we were having the day that he died. The morning that he died, on the 9th of March, my birthday, you know, was the morning that we're supposed to shoot the Do Like I Do remix music video. And we didn't shoot it. You understand? We ended up shooting it with his daughter 2 days later, who still hadn't come to terms with the fact that she'll never see her father again. You understand? Who the reality hadn't set in. Now, he was the breadwinner for his entire family. They lost their breadwinner, and they will never recover from that. You know, and it's very difficult for a black man to make it in this society. It's very difficult for a black man to be in a position where he can provide hope for his family. You know, he was in that position. His younger brothers weren't the ones carrying the family, but now they need to continue without him, you know? And no one has got any empathy for that. The woman that took him from his
Nota, that's
family.
what I'm saying. I'm not saying, I'm saying the majority might not have empathy, but there are still reasonable people and still rational people who are still saying and who still believe that
and
was wrong or
and
whatever.
and
What I'm
I'm
all
not
I'm
willing.
saying is that we
I'm
can't paint everyone with the same brush.
We're not
That's all
painting
I'm
everyone with the
saying.
same brush.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
hear you, and I accept what you're saying, right? But we also need to accept what I'm saying is that we need to do something about a society that says women are a law unto themselves, because then
And
that
it's
breaks down
happening.
the
You
fabric
you're
of a society.
raising it up. That's part of the
It is.
discussion. That's part of, like, for example, I like making this example of apartheid. Apartheid didn't end overnight. It was a decades long struggle that required multiple people, even people who
You're
used to
welcome.
be
Sorry, I'm on the
former
phone.
allies of the apartheid state, were the ones who eventually switched sides and said, okay, no, we're
Yeah.
against this side.
Mm.
Right?
And
But it
so
didn't come with it comes with actually acknowledging the nuance of the situation and not painting a brush. Because painting a
That's
brush, I
true.
believe, actually just sort of not makes it partisan, but makes it like you now people agree are more than discussing the actual issue. So, for example, when you say, "Oh, black women are black women are bad mothers," right? You
They
might
are.
have a reference for that,
Well,
and
am I,
you
can I
might
just
be
ask a question?
actually
Why?
right for the
No,
majority of the situations.
no,
But
but
then
hold
what
on.
that
What
happens
about
that
wait,
it
What about
alienates the other people who might actually.
but black women are allowed to say that black men are toxic, black men are deadbeats, black men are losers. They're allowed to say that. But you dare criticize the women, then there's something wrong with you.
But
You understand what I'm
you're
saying? There's
going
double
with the
standard.
pigs into the mud. If you go with the pigs into the mud, they'll beat you because that's their playground.
And
That's
That's
what's
very
happening
one more
because
question.
dangerous.
And the
the
question that I can
nuance of
ask, can I?
the nuance of the intelligence of your discussion is lost the moment you go into the mud. Once you start mudslinging, everyone's
Pinda, bro.
mudslinging, and no one is having an intelligent discussion about the nuance of what you're
No,
saying.
Pinda, bro. Can I just ask you a
as
question?
long as the amount of people who I'm able to enlighten is more than zero, for me that's a win.
It is.
So
Yeah,
therefore that's a win.
I just wanna ask you a question. Is how simple it is for black women to get second chances than uh for black men? Because I just wanna go back to the woman who killed Flower. So last time I checked, she was getting a second chance from Skim GP. I don't know if you guys know him, but I think you guys do know him.
Everybody wanted to reach out.
Yeah,
Everybody
like
wants to reach out.
it's so simple for black women to get second chance, even though they done horrible things. Like things like if now with Nandi Pamagutuman, you can see already the treatment she's getting. It's going to be easy for her to get a second chance. On top of that, being her a qualified doctor or whatever she is, it's going to be so simple for her. But they're going to overlook all the things that she did, and all those three people that are dead and their families being uh, going to suffer from that, because it's like I saw it's like two guys who are dead, black men also, but it's going to be so easy for her to get a second chance from other than a black man. So I just wanted to ask Pinda, it's like how easy it is for black women to get a second chance in South Africa than black men.
Dominique, I agree with you fully. It's not fair, but and it's just the way it is, and we have to change that. But we can't change it by saying I women are evil or women are whatnot. That's my
You
say. That's all I'm saying.
you can't. No. We can actually, because we are actually telling the truth. There is evil that is being done. The mere fact that they don't want any accountability is evil. The mere fact that they won't hold themselves to the minimum standards of morality and reasonableness is evil. The mere fact
Okay,
that
all
they are
stronger men are
hold
stupid.
on, wait.
Okay, all stronger men are stupid.
So, I
Is
I'm
that
not
true
stupid.
though?
I don't care because I'm not
Can we
stupid.
have? Okay, you don't care, but what about the other less intelligent people? Because that's what I think the power you have is that you
Then
see
it
things
applies to
better
them.
than
No,
other
but
people, right?
no, but what I'm trying to say is
You
this. So
do.
we've wait. So forget this. Forget that. We've got right now, right? We've got a minister of education who is presiding over an education system where 4 in 5, no, only 1 in 4 grade 4 learners can read for comprehension. Do you understand what I'm
That
saying?
didn't start overnight. That didn't happen in 1 year.
Not about,
That didn't
but
happen
how
in
long?
2 years.
But
That
how
didn't
long has
happen
this
in
person has
4
been?
years.
How long has she been the minister of education?
I don't know who's it
For
now. Like at some
Naledi,
point in time, it was Naledi Pando.
Naledi Pando was
I
a
don't even
minister of
know who it is. She
education.
was once minister of. She had something to do with education at some point. I don't even know. But what I'm saying,
Was
it's been
hold
a
on,
decline over
wait,
years.
listen to me. Yes. Now, what I'm trying to say is this: is that it's getting worse and worse and worse. But no one is calling her into question. But let a male minister have someone pay for him to fly somewhere. You understand? And it's a national scandal. It's not a national scandal that 80% of kids in grade 4 cannot read for understanding. Do you understand what that means? That means that when you're looking at Twitter and people are debating with you, you need to understand that 80% of them cannot even read for comprehension in the first place.
Okay, Nota, I
Like,
think
what is that?
here's what all I'm saying. Okay, like I'm not
But
even gonna get to the
but that,
nuance of each
wait.
argument.
What I'm trying to say is that the reason why that is so is because we need to have a 50-50 parity, gender parity in ministries. And now we put someone who's a minister who's completely incompetent, right? But because she's a woman, her incompetence, right, does not count against her. The incompetence of women does not count
Can I,
against them in the workplace anymore.
Nota, can I ask you, how do you destroy an empire?
You destroy its women.
Okay, generally from inside out.
Yes, you destroy its women. So what happens
You
is that
increase, you basically, and that's what's happening is that, okay, like
it's
I
what has
feel
happened.
like we are
Happened.
arguing about men against women instead of good against bad.
No, and that's the thing is that women are not seeing that they're siding with the bad,
Majority of, and that's all I'm saying. Maybe a
and that is destructive.
majority,
And
maybe
that
a
is
lot of
destructive.
them are, and that's why it's important
Majority of them.
to. Okay, Nota, can I please speak? That's why I'm saying the important thing is always to stick to the principles, to stick to the good, to stick to the right, to what,
No,
okay, this is what's right. Instead, I believe, this is my personal opinion.
your belief.
Okay,
That's
okay,
your
can
belief.
I please state my opinion then? My personal opinion is that let's not throw shade. Let's not paint people. Let's not say, oh, these people are bad, because that's how you sort of ensure that there won't be any progress. You pit people against each other instead of
What I'm
just
trying.
sticking to what's good and what's bad. So,
Okay,
for
and I hear
example,
you.
I would say, for example, if my mother did some of the things you said, I would say, I believe a mother shouldn't do this. I believe a mother shouldn't do that. I wouldn't say black mothers are this. Why? Because I know amazing black women, and they are hurt when they see someone say black mothers are this. Because I know what black women have done
The,
for other
and
children.
why are they not
Other
hurt
black
enough?
women have done
Why are they
worse and
not
horrible
hurt
things, but
enough?
other black mothers have done amazing things. Other
Most
black
black mothers
mothers
are
believe in
destructive.
accountability. Other black mothers believe, rekisa ngwanaka. You know, so there's a huge divide. People are not the same. We can't paint people with the same brush, is all I'm trying to say.
That's
The
cool.
best
But we
way
live
to
in a
win the
society.
argument for
No,
the
no, no. Don't
truth,
say the best way. No, we're not winning an argument
okay,
here.
I
I'm
hope.
not trying to win an argument. You are trying to win an argument. No, I'm trying to change the way the world is. I'm trying to make the world better. And I'm doing it with my own efforts, right? And you
Yes,
can also say, I'm trying to make the world better with my own efforts.
I
You are
agree.
free to do it with your approach. I don't criticize your approach. I'm the only
Yes.
one whose approach gets criticized. Do you understand what I'm saying? The unfairness of that.
And I'm trying
You
to
are willing.
provide context for why that is.
No, I understand why that is. I know why that is. You don't worry about. I know why that is. You know,
Okay,
I
if
don't.
you got it, my
You
dog,
know,
you got it. If you got it, you
I
got
don't.
it.
I don't step into the fire not knowing that it's hot. I know it's hot. I step into the fire regardless because I'm a fireman. Do you understand what I'm saying?
My
I
nigga.
run. I run into the burning building.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was gonna say, like, I think I understand what Nota is trying to say. It's firstly, it's countering a narrative that's pushed that might not necessarily be accurate, but also I
And the
don't think he's
approach.
saying. I think what he's saying is that
Yeah, and the
um.
approach as well.
So I
This
think I
approach
think
is
I
what's
think
being attacked.
there are always different approaches to different things for sure. I think
Yeah.
not one way is the right way, right? And not one way is just the wrong way. But I think what he's just trying to say is there should be an equal standard for accountability for everybody. We're all adults at the end of the day. I'm responsible for how I behave. I'm
And
responsible
there's
for
an
healing
even
myself.
higher standard for parents.
And
As
there's
a
even a higher standard for
parent,
parents, exactly. So, but
you
the fact is, we all have personal responsibility for ourselves. So,
exactly.
if one person feels one way about another person, they can say whatever they want to say about that because that's how you feel, right? But you can heal. It's like that same thing where it's like right now, we hear that saying that men are trash, right? A lot of men would say, but I'm not trash. But that's not the saying means about men are trash or whatever. It's mostly talking about usually when men do certain things, it impacts a lot of women. So it's like if you know you're not trash, you will not be impacted by that statement. So if Nota
And I
is saying
wasn't.
Exactly. True that.
black women
I
are bad
Exactly.
wasn't. When
mothers,
people,
if you feel bad
when,
about that, why are you feeling bad? If you know you're a good mom, that's not something that should affect you. So
exactly.
I think that's kind of where it's coming from. It's like countering a narrative because we can admit that women do have it easy in certain situations. And the same
No,
vitriol is
in
not given.
in all situations. Let me tell you something. A woman will say, "I don't need a man," right? And then go and pour gasoline into her car, right? Which was manufactured by men. The same gasoline needs a man to be welding an oil rig in the middle of the ocean. A, a man is welding an oil rig, you understand, to ensure that there's crude oil that is then shipped by men and then carried through pipelines and then in an oil refinery where women do not want to work because it's dangerous, right? So that she can pour gasoline in her car and say, I don't need a man. And then she can then say, I need an ambulance, or I need a fire truck, or I need policemen to intervene in the situation. And in all those situations, those are men. And she can use those men however she is. And then say, I don't need a man. And then everybody claps for her when she's lying. You do. You understand what I'm saying? You do need a man. And the same man, right, is not going to live forever. So he needs a woman so that he can produce. We both need one another. Now, when we now remove any accountability from women, we are destroying the fabric of society. And when I confront the destruction of the fabric of society, you should not be saying, hey, man, stop trying to fix the fabric of society like that. No, you should be saying, okay, fine, you might have this approach. I'm going to go with this different approach, and let's see how our results end up being. And then we can make an analysis of whose approach was the least wrong. At least I'm doing something. You understand?
Because the goal is the same, right? Like, because like Nota, what's your goal in all of this? For example, if you were to say my goal
And that's how
is just to
Trump
make
won.
a what?
That's how. That's not how Trump won. Trump lost because all the good he was doing was
2016.
was destroyed. Wait, so when Trump lost, he lost now, and let's look at this 2020. He lost because the whole entire time that he was president, I think he had 3 impeachments or 4 impeachments. You know what I mean? He had the FBI just admitted that they falsified the whole entire Russiagate scandal. They just admitted it now. The Durham report was released yesterday. They falsified every attack that they had on him was false. They framed him deliberately. But when Hillary Clinton was plotting and planning to kill Gaddafi, destabilize Libya, and then succeeded in that, you understand? She is still able to walk around, go to Kim Kardashian and act like, oh no, I'm the saint. Dude, there's African people being traded as slaves in Libya right now as we speak. They are dying in boats. They're trying to escape the tyranny. And that tyranny was caused by Hillary Clinton. But she's a woman, so she cannot be seen as evil. Look at
No,
all the
sorry,
wait,
no.
wait, 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 wait,
Hillary
wait, wait, wait.
Clinton it's part of a bigger group,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
but it's
It
not a
doesn't
woman.
matter.
It
It
was like,
doesn't matter. She uses the fact that she's a woman to shield that group. So forget that she's a
Obama
part of
did
a.
the same thing.
And he used the
Biden
fact
did
that
the
he was
same
black.
thing. Like
Hold
all
on,
of
no,
them
no,
have
no,
done.
hold on. Wait,
Bush in
that's I
Iraq.
understand.
Bush in Iraq. Bush
The
in Iraq.
Bushes, forget
The
forget
biggest human, whatever, like like a war for no reason.
What about Afghanistan?
Exactly. It's not a
Uh,
woman thing. We can't say
it's
to women everything.
no, wait. So now, when women are able to be used, and we say, okay, now because there's a woman on the face of this, we look past all the evil that's behind it.
No, Nota, but that's what I'm saying. Is that other atrocities have happened before Hillary took
No, you're not
off.
listening
It
to me.
wasn't
That's the
her.
thing. Ish, this is the thing. Our comprehension skills. This is why 80% can't read for comprehension. You're not listening to me. What I'm trying to say is that if, as evil men, all we need to do is put a woman on the face, and then we can vindicate ourselves of all the evil that we've done, then that means that we have put women in a position where they can cleanse evil. Do you
Okay,
understand what I'm saying?
vindicate Iraq without involving Hillary Clinton.
I wasn't talking about Iraq. I wasn't talking about Iraq. Do you understand what I'm saying? I wasn't talking about Iraq. I was talking about Libya in Africa. You understand? So now we need to, now we need to bring whataboutism. Because I cannot make an example of an evil woman, right? That is perpetrating evil, right?
I'm
That
just
is,
asking you to
who
apply it
knows what, hold
consistently
on,
over different similar
saying it.
situations.
No, it's not different, similar situations. What I'm trying to say is this. You're not listening to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this, is that all the evil that was done in the past by the British Empire was cleansed by the fact that they what? Queen Elizabeth. Oh, she's a woman, she's a queen, whatever. Despite the fact that she's a racist, despite the fact that, she ruled over the most brutal empire ever. Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh, she's a queen. Oh, you understand what I'm saying? And now, when her son is in charge, all of a sudden we can now criticize the royal family again because it's a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, which
But
means that how? But
we
all you need to
blame
do is
Tony Blair and George Bush for Iraq. No one else. How is the
yes,
woman
we do,
involved?
we do. But don't both those men have wives? How are those wives benefiting from the evil of their husbands? They're benefiting and then they're sitting quietly, and then
But we're now
they'll
stretching this.
no, we're not stretching it. We're not stretching it. The way Ivanka Trump is criticized is because she's either Russian or whatever. She's from that side of stuff. She's criticized because of that, because she's not fully, white in the way they want whites to be. She's Slavic. So because Slavs are lesser whites than the rest of the whites, Ivanka Trump it's open season for criticism of Ivanka Trump. Understand what I'm saying?
But why?
Obama,
Okay, wait.
hold
Why?
on.
Okay,
Wait,
can I
wait,
ask how?
wait,
Okay, how
wait,
is? I
wait,
don't even know
wait,
Tony Blair's
wait,
wife
wait,
or George
wait,
Bush's
wait.
wife
Listen
or
to me.
Laura Bush.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
No.
Listen to me.
Okay, explain to me how women are responsible for Iraq,
I never said they are responsible. You're not listening to
or
me.
how they
What I'm
can be
trying to
held guilty or none or accountable,
see,
or
okay,
how we not
can I
holding
speak to
them
another person?
accountable.
We're not gonna. You've got a completely closed mind. You don't want to listen. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Let's move on to
understand.
the next point.
I understand what Nota is, because like he's saying that, for example, if Tony Blair is doing some evil things, his wife is right there. If she's not trying to stop him, she's complicit, right?
Exactly.
That that's
Look at
what
Melinda
he's
Bush.
saying.
Look at
So
Melinda Gates. Melinda Gates. Melinda Gates. Her
yeah,
husband was busy. Her husband is a pedophile with Jeffrey Epstein, right? And then what do they do to ensure they protect their business from the Jeffrey Epstein? They just stage a divorce, right? They stage a divorce, right? And then she's then able to continue with the work of the Bill and Melinda Foundation. Go sit down there with Trevor Noah. Meanwhile, her husband funded COVID. You understand
yeah.
what I'm saying? And she's completely innocent. She was just the wife. What do you mean? She worked at fucking Microsoft. She slept with her boss and ended up getting the ring. Now, the boss is also accused of having relationships with other staff. Obviously, he picked his wife from the staff, from the Microsoft campus. Obviously, he's going to have girlfriends around from the campus as well. Obviously, he's going to be seen as a creep, you know? Obviously, he's going to have inappropriate emails because that's what he does. He got rewarded with the wife when he did.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you look at slavery, a lot of the people who benefited from it were white women, right? Like, they were a part of it, but you never hear as much talked about
You know what I mean?
what
And
the
it
role of white
continued.
women was in slavery. Yeah, and it continued, right? And that's the benefit. And even if you look at human trafficking is, I think, the second most profitable business in the world right now. And that's because it also uses a lot of women, like, will go to Nigeria and like act like, oh, we're gonna take care of your children, and then that's how they actually get human trafficking involved, because they're using women as that. So I understand
They're
what
able to get
Nota
away
is
with it
saying, that
because they're
this
women. Wait, they're able to get away
exactly.
with it because of women. So what I'm trying to say is that we live in a society where women are able to get away with evil, and evil continues because women are able to get away with it. Because we started holding men accountable for the evil that they're doing. Weren't holding men accountable for the evil that they're doing because they had the power of brutality to overcome us. You know, but now because we are more civilization and humanity around the globe, you know, we need to find more insidious ways to continue the evil. And the most insidious way to continue the evil is to hide it behind a woman and to make sure that women have got no accountability for any of their actions. She's got no
Yeah,
agency.
and that was created through perception, right? Because as we were saying, like with the mothers and with the
Call me
perception
King
of,
has his hand up.
yeah, I was just gonna
Hold
say, yeah,
on,
I'll get
King,
to him. I was just gonna say
anything.
that
hold
the
on.
perception,
When Jeffrey Epstein, who was best buddies with Bill Gates and always hang out with Bill Gates, when he was convicted in 2012, did Melinda ask Bill, did you do any of the things that he is being convicted of? Did you participate? Did she even ask him?
Nope.
But as you understand what I'm saying? But as soon as it became difficult and COVID and what, they said, okay, no, let's separate for whatever reasons. Let's put out a joint statement and let's continue with our lives. The guy,
yeah. So
the guy likes kids. Okay.
they all do. This call me King. Yeah, feel free to come off mute, man.
Evening, gents. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh, yes, King.
No, I'm good. My brothers. Interesting topic. It went a bit diverse, but I want to go back to the initial way it started with Nota's tweets regarding his mother. I just wanted to give my opinion on that. I think as black men, majority of us are actually suffering from PTSD. We all have mother issues, and if you look at the history of black women, and I'll speak for South Africa because that's where I reside. Black,
Where you grew up.
I grew up in Limpopo. So
No, it's South Africa is where you grew up. What I'm saying, because you could reside anywhere in the world, but you could have grown up somewhere
no,
else.
no, no. I
That's what I
grew
mean.
up here. So what I want to say is that if you look at the history of black women and black
It means
men,
yes.
black women have always gotten away with a lot. It's just that in the past we didn't have social media. Our fathers, most of them were not strong enough to stick around for the bullshit. A lot of them just disappeared. So when you see things that are happening now and how men are now reacting to it seems like we are harsh towards women when in reality we are just saying things that should have been said a long time ago. Think of all the kids that grow up not knowing their fathers. Think of all the, and I'm talking about men in their 30s like ourselves. Who is
Dude,
responsible for that?
Hold on. Jub's son watched the murder in his house,
Yeah.
and Child Protection Services is not taking that baby away from that environment.
Exactly, you see. So women have been getting away with a lot. And when you look at things that are even happening now on social media with young black kids, black girls, prostitution has become normal. I mean, you even see now the there are mothers that are going to clubs with their daughters. What do you think will happen at the club? Do you think the guy with the million-rand wallet and the 5 million rand car outside wanting to buy them drinks, do you think the mother who's 38 is going to say no to a 20-year-old getting champagne? A lot of things are wrong, gents. We can't be dilly-dallying around these issues. A lot of things are wrong. Yeah, you might not like the way Nota raised these issues, but he's raising them. And as black men, what are we going to do? Are we going to allow things to get worse? Look at how they attacked Gabrielle Union for saying that she contributes to a marriage. It's like our women will promote anything that has no accountability to it, and they'll look down on anything that requires accountability for them. So we need to start having these serious conversations and save our race, because like the problems we are even suffering from now is because we don't have strong women. The only difference between our mothers and the current generations is that our mothers went to church and didn't drink. The current generation, the problems are compounded because the levels of alcoholism have skyrocketed. So that's what actually makes things worse currently. Our mothers were sober, and the current generation of women are all drunk. So it's hell, guys. It's hell. And what are we gonna do 10 years from now? I've got two sons. One is 14,
What about
the
the
other one is
prostitutes that
10.
are role models?
E-
What about the prostitutes that are role models for
Exactly.
your daughters? And
My sons,
they're
I'm
they're
already
plastered
training
on
them not.
TV and everything.
Yeah, my sons, I'm already training them not to get married, because they're either gonna get divorced, raped, or they're gonna end up with someone who's already been with men my age, and my son will be 20 by the time. So we are in trouble, gents. What's gonna happen 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Those are the conversations that we need to be talking about, instead of shooting each other down for trying to solve the problems the way we best see fit. Nota has his way.
And virtue
Pinda,
signaling.
you also have your way. Let's all do something within our own spaces to ensure that we fix something. I mean, we have to fix something.
And also, I want to say is that what we're doing right now is simping. Oh, but they're women. Oh, but if life was tough for women back in the past because they couldn't do this, that's bullshit. They didn't need to do any of that stuff because men were doing all the hard jobs. And it was so important for them to play the role of a mother and nurturing the children who are still vulnerable and raise them well, that that was seen as a good thing. That was seen as a public good. Now it is seen as a bad thing. A woman that is raising her children and saying, "Oh no, I'm going to raise my children," is seen as a failure. No, you're supposed to be a career woman. You're supposed to have a nanny for your kids. You're supposed to abandon your kids. You're supposed to have all the sex you want in college. You understand? So that by the time you get married, you've been fucked by so many guys that when you're intimate with your husband, he just feels like any normal person because you've opened yourself up, you've desensitized yourself, you've lost your innocence. And women want to reclaim their innocence after they've lost it.
Yeah, and we live in
They want to say,
the age of
when I
hookups
wake
now.
up in the morning, I'm born again. It is. Everything is
Yeah,
hookup culture.
everything is a hookup
When,
now.
when I said earlier, I was like, one day I'll go through all the women that are offering me pussy on my whatever on my DMs. What I'm trying to say is that society has fallen to the point where women are even able to DM men.
And
You understand what I'm
that's
saying?
scary.
And they
That's
call it
scary.
empowerment.
And
They
that's
call it
scary
no.
for a
It's
woman
like
to
that.
DM
Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that.
offering themselves.
Just like that. In the DM, you haven't even met the guy. There's this 21-year-old girl who's got HIV, who's on ARVs, and she's going around, sleeping around with men and bragging about it. And on TikTok, she gets lots of followers and she tells all these stories. Oh, no, I got my vuso from so and so and so and so and so and so. There's not one woman, one grown woman, one elderly woman that says, no, my child, let us help you. Let us pray for you. All the older women are keeping quiet. And that makes them complicit. It means that that's what they want for other girls. It's like, as long as my daughter's not a prostitute, I don't mind if all these other girls are prostitutes. No. What are you saying? What you want your son to end up marrying a prostitute?
Okay, Nota, can I please like say something? Remember when I said, "Oh, okay, here's how I believe this could be best approached." What did you tell me?
I said, you approach it in your way. Let me approach it in my way.
That's the same thing she says.
What do you mean?
So when someone else tries to come in with a different opinion or say, "Ish, I don't think my child, you should be doing this and that," they'll say, this is my way of doing things."
But that doesn't mean that now you need to listen to unreasonable people that are self-destructive. Come on. That's why I say there's a greater responsibility on the parents. So what I'm saying is that the parents are the older women.
But that's what I'm
It's
saying, is that when
it's
someone
only
else
now.
tries
Wait,
to
wait,
give
wait.
them
It's
a
only now.
different
Hold on. It's
opinion
only now.
or
Hold
a
on. It's only
different
now.
suggestion on how
That's
to do
fine. It
things,
doesn't matter.
they say, this is my way.
And
So, for
therefore,
example, that girl who's doing HIV TikToks, for example, maybe there's someone who's not on TikTok, who's in her personal space, who says, "Hey, ngwanaka, ke tlile gore with
no, that's not
so."
that doesn't
Can
help because this thing is out there. It's broadcast. So there needs to be a broadcast of a counter message, and it needs to come from women themselves. Because if women are not the ones who are slut shaming women, then women will be sluts. Because in the past,
Exactly.
women used to slut shame women. Women used to slut shame them. Women would not
but
be
not
around women.
do you
But
know
you're
that's
not listening
exactly
to
what
me.
I
No, no,
was
no, 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 no,
like.
no, no. My brother, when you got your belief and when you just want to criticize everything I say, it's fine. I get
I'm
that.
not
You
criticizing. I'm
no, no, no.
saying
You
here's a
are
different perspective.
no. It's not. I don't need that perspective right now.
And
I
that's
know your
exactly the
perspective.
same thing those girls say. They say,
That's
we don't need
fine.
your
Okay, so now
perspective.
you want to repeat your point. We've heard your point, and I'm saying that to hell with your point. To hell with your point. What I'm
That's
trying
what
to
they
say is
say
that
as
no,
well.
that's fine. That's fine. Now you're repeating yourself. What I'm trying to say is this: if there are no elder women that are going to say we need to stand up because our womanhood is lost now, there are men that are saying we are women, and we are unable to say anything about it. We're unable to do anything about it. It was
To
men
hell
that
with your
stopped.
point.
It was men. It was men that said we're not going to buy Bud Light. It wasn't women that protested. Budweiser is its share price. Dude. I even shot a video when I was in Texas. Dog, the fridges were filled with Bud Light. Everyone was buying everything but Bud. It's anything but Bud. You understand? ABB is anything but Bud. So it was men that did that. Why is it? Even now with transgenderism and all this stuff, it's women who support it. It's women who are saying, oh no, we need to give space for everyone. And what are they supporting? They're supporting their own destruction. They're supporting their own dehumanization. It's women who are saying, oh no, we need to recognize prostitution as sex work. We need to legalize sex work. What do you mean? What do you mean? Sex slavery can never be seen as work. It can never be seen as work. What you're trying to say is that women need to be content with being prostitutes. No. But the only reason it's allowed, right? It's allowed is because there are no women that are saying, no, we will not have this happen to the younger generation of women. We will not have this happen. We will not have this mania go throughout society and corrupt what it means to be a woman.
But Nota, I think we also need to have a conversation around the fact that, you know, even when I look in the work environment, in general communities, women hate each other. It's those
Exactly.
single
They
mothers
want to
who
see
had
each
a
other as
child
being
at
destructive.
16 that will encourage a daughter to do the most destructive things. Even at work, it's the
Exactly.
female managers that will
Why?
always put down the other
Because
female
she's jealous
colleagues.
of her daughter's youth. She's
Yes,
jealous of her daughter's youth because her youth has passed and now she doesn't have any value in society anymore because women only have value while they're still young,
exactly.
and attractive.
And now she goes to the club with her daughter and pimps her daughter out for whatever it is that they get. It's just a sad, sad state of affairs, man.
And we must celebrate it. We must say, oh, happy Mother's Day. Why must
and
Mother's
and
Day be celebrated? What is Mother's Day? Mother's Day is an opportunity for malls, shopping centers, restaurants to make money. For florists, everybody. It's a cash grab for them. So they're marketing the shit out of that.
Where are the
Look
good women in this space?
look at the marketing, dude.
They will be shamed for coming
We're
here
the
and
good
adding
women in
value,
society.
bruh. The good women will
And
not
Like
come in
look
because
what's
honestly,
they'll be
because
happening.
paid.
I think we do need a different
Look,
perspective.
look what's happening. Look what's happening on the show Max show that says that show of Lomzimboyang Sebenze. Look how those girls are influencing their younger sisters who are coming after them. I don't
They're
know
getting
if it's
fame. They're getting fame, and we know that young girls love fame. Everyone wants to be a Hollywood star.
it's
You
it's just
understand?
for clout, exactly.
So what do the young girls say? Okay, which means that I can also sell my body because there's no consequences for that.
But we have good women who are doing great. So let's say like Banyana. I mean, there's no even one show of them on Showmax to like a documentary of that
Or
girl.
anything.
There's nothing like that. But they are supporting Olumzi Moyang Sevens. What's that? Are you like it's not
Okay,
making
and
sense.
why are there no white girls there? Why are there no Asian?
Banyana.
Why are there why are there no Asian girls there?
Nota, I think you touched it when you started the space, the issue of the education.
Yeah, that I
You
cannot answer. I
you
don't know
cannot
how.
have a poorly educated country and expect them to be entertained by high value content. If those numbers you were talking about are correct with the 20% literacy, obviously they will be entertained by Moja Love and all that nonsense that they show on TV. You cannot provide them anything else because they'll be bored.
No, you can. You can provide them an alternative. The thing is this, is that TV programs people. And if you're programming them to be ignorant, they will continue to be ignorant. That's the thing, is that if we're saying, oh, watching shows like this is beneath us, then women would think it's beneath them. And no woman would admit that she watches that show because she knows that society is going to judge her harshly. Oh, you watch that show? Oh my God. You understand what I'm saying? Women used to be judged harshly for watching the Kardashians. Now the Kardashians are role models. Why? Because we said, no, slut shaming is bad. What? Slut shaming is good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You understand? Just like the same way we shame deadbeat dads. You know, the other day, what's this guy? What's this guy, Penwell, going out there saying, "Oh no, you guys have fornication, unprotected sex with the dude. You are fornicate. You've never been married. You've never made godly love. You understand? And you want to come out there and preach to people and be a leader in society just because certain white people feel like they can use you. You understand? Why do you think DJ Smooth keeps Penwell so close? To capture him, to say, listen, I'll be your role model. I'll be your role model. I'll be a black man who's your role model. You understand? Otherwise, you're going to go out there and you're going to use this fame to destroy black masculinity. Because that's what he's doing. That guy will say everything about black men, everything negative about black men, everything negative. Yet he cannot go sit down and have a discussion with the mother of his children and ensure that he can be a present father. He's an absent father. He's a deadbeat. He denies that. He refuses to whatever. But Gareth Cliff will put him on his platform. Gareth Cliff is now making a deadbeat even more famous, feeding into the narcissism. Feeding into it. You know what I mean? Feeding into it. That is absolute narcissism, where you are able to get away with pretending to be the type of person that people would like to see, just so that you can pull a wool over their eyes.
So, Nota, seeing that you've been in the media industry for long, how do we then counter it in the media space in terms of the powers that be using certain black personalities to push a particular narrative and capture them? How do we as a people then counter that?
Look, okay, name one black woman role model right now in South Africa.
I don't know. I don't watch TV, so most of the
It's not about a role model, someone that you'd say, you know what, if my daughter were to emulate this woman, I'd be happy. There is none.
Yeah.
Because the only ones that get ahead are the ones that are willing to sell their bodies. We have a media monopoly in South Africa. We have a media monopoly. DSTV owns the entire media. When it comes to print media, all the newspapers, all they have are government ads. Do you expect them to be honest and criticize the government? No, they can never do that. They can never do that because that's their advertiser. That's their only advertiser. You know, apart from the cell phone networks. You know, when you read through the Sunday Times, most of it is a Free State government, Northwest government. You read through Sunday World, such and such government department is what. It's a government advertorial. Every single newspaper that comes out is a government advertorial, with just a few big corporations that can advertise, the banks and the cell phone networks. How do you expect to build a country when all you do is spread propaganda? Where you have destroyed the value of truth, where you cannot even be truthful, where we have to lie. You look at Instagram. Instagram is the most deceitful, lying platform. A woman will do the most toxic things, and then all you'll see from the comments are other women praising her. What? Oh, you girl. And it's like, dude, you're showing your fucking pussy. It's not a camel toe. We can see your vagina. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? And it's normal. And that's the pictures that get likes. The girl wrote, oh, when I show my camel toe, I get more likes. And then what do you see? The entire timeline is full of camel toe. You're using what you can get away. You can do this much to do soft porn. It's soft pornography. That's all it is. Instagram is the biggest prostitution thing. Women send DMs. They get flown from A, B, C, D. That's human trafficking. Instagram is a human trafficking site.
Okay, but then if I were to play devil's advocate, one would say, yeah, but we'd also blame the men because they're the ones who pay, take the girls out, or whatever.
All men pay for sex. All the men pay for sex.
No,
all the men can afford to.
Can I
Even
say
the broke
something?
niggas.
no.
The same broke niggas that hold on, wait. We blame the broke niggas that can't afford to buy the nails, do the hair, do the thing, and then we blame the minority of niggas who are willing to pay
Yeah,
for these women
yeah.
to use their bodies.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
And then women have got no accountability in it. Bona, they cannot say no. Bona, they've got no morality. Bona, as soon as they see money, it does something to them, so they lose all their values, and we must forgive them for that. No,
Yeah,
we must shame it. This is why I said I quote the book of Luke. Read Luke in the Bible.
Yeah. Sorry not to
Can I
interrupt,
say
but
something, brother?
I have to jump off here. But I think Pendulum can go at some point. But yeah, just wanted to just highlight it that Nota, I might have to leave your side for a little bit. I have to take care of some things. But
no, easy, my G.
No,
yeah,
listen,
all right,
brother.
bet. All right, I'll catch with you. Yeah.
Easy, my G. We'll chat.
All right.
Shop.
Easy.
Can I say something, Nota, brother?
Sure. Lalele.
So I feel like in this issue of gender inequality, I think we must be neutral when addressing these situations, because I feel like we as men also are.
No, don't put me. When I talk about yourself, talk about what you do. Why do you have to make it a group chat when you do wrong? No, talk about what you do wrong.
Mara, we must
don't
be
say
neutral.
Mara. No, okay, sharp.
Like you must.
No. You are simping. It's fine. Sharp. Okay, sharp. We hear your point. Whether you want the distraction to continue.
be different
You
from
cannot be
mine.
you
So
can
I
you can
think you
you
must
cannot
listen to
be
other
neutral.
perspectives.
No, I don't need to. That's the thing. Is that imagine if I need to listen to someone who says they like fucking babies. Must I listen to that? It's another perspective. He's got an attraction to kids.
Mara, you
Now you
can
must listen to him.
Mara, you
No,
cannot deprive me the
no.
opportunity to
Okay,
have my
Mpendulo,
perspective.
what is your solution? I think that's what Nota's trying to move away from. What is your solution?
The solution, I think, we as
He hasn't
men.
thought of that. He hasn't thought of
Let
that.
me
Don't say we
talk,
as men. Talk
brother.
about you.
Don't
Your
be like
solution.
this. Give us
But I've said, make it your solution. Don't tell us what we need to do. You understand? Don't tell me what I need to do. Talk about what you are going to do. Talk about what you are going to do. Your personal accountability as a man, as an individual.
Kuluma ndoda.
Hey, Mpendulo, you still there?
Signal. Signal. So can you see how successful their brainwashing has been? They've convinced women to dehumanize themselves, and they've convinced men to just step back and watch it. And now I'm saying, how are you going to find mothers for your children? How are we going to continue humanity? We can't. I just saw three Muslim girls walking past me wearing their burqas. They're wearing burqas. The one has got a Louis Vuitton bag, whatever. They probably come from university. They're probably studying. They don't look like they're oppressed. You understand? But they wear their burqa. Why? Because it's their culture.
And they're not,
Now we say, oh no, a woman should be naked in a bikini.
and they don't have single mothers there in that culture.
They don't have. They don't have. They don't have single mothers in that
And they
culture.
are rich. They got money.
You understand? Show me a Saudi Arabian woman with 5 baby daddies.
They stone them there. They don't play.
Show me a Saudi Arabian woman that is trying to get maintenance out of her husband. Show me one. You don't have that. Why? Because Saudi Arabian women protect their dignity.
It's the culture, that the laws, the culture, etc., that causes that.
So now you've got all these designers that design the shortest, skimpiest denim shorts. Let a white girl wear that. It's you won't see anything. Let a black voluptuous girl wear the same thing, and you can see her ass protruding from the bottom of the jeans. And you're telling me she's not walking around naked?
I don't know. Can I add something? So, okay, again, I'm not an expert. And like I've learned a bit, like in my studies, various bits about apartheid. But I think I picked up somewhere that the biggest success of apartheid was actually breaking up the black family structure.
That is it.
How? Because what it did, it took the moving class away from where the money was being made. So if you wanted to work in the city, Bosentin, etc., which is still ongoing, you had to wake up early in the morning at around 4 or 5 so you could get to work on time. And then you'd have to make the same trek back and come back in the evening. So you wouldn't be able to take care of your kids.
But that was the
So
minority. That was the minority. The majority still lived in rural South Africa. What about the majority that lived in rural South Africa and all their men were sent underground in the mines? And then they had no father figures anymore. And then that social fabric broke down. And those children were raised to think that their fathers abandoned them and to hate men. What about that?
again, It's the same thing. It's a legacy of a system that was.
It's got nothing to do with apartheid. It's eugenesis. Now, what I'm trying to tell you
But
is
why
this.
were those people in
Now,
those
let me tell you why.
areas?
Let me tell you why. The eugenicists realize that white people have got recessive genes and that black people have got dominant genes and that they are going to be bred out. So how do you then figure out a way to stop black people from breeding? You destroy their social fabric. You destroy their culture. And then they'll stop breeding. And then once their birth rates are at a rate low enough where they cannot reproduce, they cannot produce families, they will cease to exist. That's how you kill black race. That is
So
it.
are you saying all these people, all these young black people are victims, including the women?
All black bred out. What I'm trying to now, there'll be fewer than 100 million black people that can call themselves white.
So, but if I understand you correctly, you're saying that black women are a victim of this as well.
What
That's
I-
why they've been brainwashed.
What I'm saying is that the population of white people in the world is half of the population of China.
Why do you think they're obsessed with cloning, bruh? They know that they've got a timeline in which they will no longer be able to reproduce, so they'll need to create clones in order to keep their race alive. But yeah,
You understand?
that's what they call
And that's it.
conspiracy.
It's not a conspiracy.
No,
We
I'm
are
just
seeing
joking
it.
on that part, but yeah, most people will say it's conspiracy.
Why do you think they are pushing abortion so much? Who are the ones who have got the broken family structures? Where
Kanye West did say that abortion in the States is worse than the Holocaust combined.
It is. If you look at the numbers, yes.
Nota, it sounds like you're describing black women as victims of this massive conspiracy.
I'm not describing black women as the victims of a massive conspiracy. I'm describing black people as victims of eugenesis.
Yes, including black women.
No, I'm talking black people. That's the thing. Stop othering us. That's exactly what happens, is that black women are a separate race now. Why are black women a separate race? Were they not?
No, I'm not saying they're separate race, but I'm saying
but
black
that's the
people.
Thing. But when you say it like that,
are all a victim of this conspiracy, this eugenesis.
It's not a conspiracy. It's eugenesis.
Okay, black people are a victim of eugenesis.
Hold on. Who was the guy that ordered the hit on Chris Hunch?
I don't know.
Clive Darby Lewis. Google him. What is he? Google what Clive Darby Lewis was. Just in the meantime, while you're here, you can slide over to your Google and see Clive Darby Lewis. What was his qualifications?
Clive Darby. Okay, give me a moment.
Darby Lewis is DERBY hyphen LE.
South African was involved.
What was he?
Okay, background.
Okay, he's a
chartered accountant.
And what else?
Extraordinary minister.
Okay, say Clive W. eugenicist.
Okay, Clive W.
See, they even hide it on Google.
EU. Is it EU?
Yeah, EU.
Okay, this is a BBC article. Opposed ending white minority rule. Sentenced to death. Okay, I'm not seeing anything here about his.
So they've scrubbed it from the internet. Clive W. was a eugenicist.
Oh, okay, that's a personal belief. Maybe they don't have it.
No, it's not. He studied it. Jonathan. So
in Holland, right?
Ooh, now you even know where he studied it. Keep going.
No, I didn't see that. I remember that from somewhere. Like, cause that's what the what's this, the whatever Burmach grew up in Kimberley. Okay, they don't have anything here on eugenesis, political history. Yeah, there's nothing I can see on eugenesis.
Yes, Clive W. Lewis was a eugenicist. He believed that certain groups of people were genetically superior to others, and that is the superiority that could be used to justify the oppression or even the extermination of those groups. He was a strong supporter of apartheid, and he believed that the white race was superior to the black race. He also believed that communism was a threat to white supremacy, and he was involved in a number of anti-communist activities.
Share the link on the space.
No, I got it from Google Bard.
Yeah, but you can share. Oh, Bod. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, we'll find it one day.
You understand what I'm
Oh,
saying?
there we go. Eugenic population policies.
You see?
So, but basically, you're confirming that black people were a victim of this mass conspiracy.
Stop calling it a conspiracy.
Okay, it was a policy. Is that better?
It's not a conspiracy. We're victims of eugenesis. That's it.
Yes, we're
Why not
all
you?
victims of that.
So
Not
we are
conspiracy.
victims of.
Okay, but yes, we are, including
The thing
black
is that
women.
don't other black women, black people in general, are victims of
Black women
eugenesis.
includes black. So
No,
black
okay.
women's behavior could be.
You know, that's the thing. Is that sometimes you need to discipline people by taking away their microphones, because what they do is that they spread falsehoods. The man is, I'm telling you, the man, I don't know how many multiple times, stop calling black women a separate race. That's it. Siko, you guys got
Nota,
your hands up,
bro.
Prodigy.
Thanks for the platform. It's like 2:15 here in South Africa, so I just need to dash because I've got to wake up in the morning. Thanks for the platform, and the conversation has been great. We'll join again next
No,
time.
easy, Major.
Thanks so much, bro.
Sure. I think we'll wrap it
All
up in
right,
15
cheers.
minutes. Let Isi go. Well, something, I need dollars.
How's it, guys? I just wanted to say what I was saying about eugenics is a real thing. In Black America and in Africa, they want to depopulate the black community. They evil things when it comes to press us. That's all I wanted to say.
Dude, we missed everything you wanted to say because the signal defeated us. Please repeat it. Okay, I think he's having signal issues. Sigo? Prodigy. Okay, Prodi.
Yeah, Prodigy, bro. That's what's up. Yo, Nota.
Yeah.
First of all, man, appreciate the level of confidence it takes to do what you do. It doesn't take it takes a lot to find a person who's as authentic as yourself. Even though sometimes we have disagreements in how you conduct yourself, but you're still you, and that's what's amazing. I'm a firm believer in the universe and the fact that we are all here to be our authentic self, and if you're doing that, you're living your soul purpose and you're completing your mission. So props to you, bro, man. And props to the fact that you stood for your stuff regarding your wife. Women these days, nowadays, now generation, take them from like women from the 70s down to women to the 2000s. They all have this superiority complex going on. There's a lot that's happening. Men are oppressed, and you stand for black men, and you stand for the men's conference for black empowerment, and yeah, man, I feel like if you actually work on your brand and you clean out the propaganda and the messiness that they take your name with, you can actually get to a place where your name is respected and you are not considered a lunatic. Because I feel like you are a young Kanye West in South Africa type of vibe, you know. Hence why I joined the space. I was about to just roll myself a joint and write some lyrics because I'm an artist. But I saw you have a space, and I was like, you know what, Nota is friends with the likes of Kabza. Friends with the likes of who's that? Who's that guy? Not Kabza, man. I meant to say who's that? Prince KB, my bad. You know, I know Prince KB values you a lot. I know that okay, talk Asida Questa, by the way. So you worked with that guy. You have ties with Leroy. I have friends of mine in the industry that work with Leroy as well. And we still on the come up, so it's a bit shaky, man. I guess I just wanted to disturb your space and ask for advice in terms of conducting myself in this new age industry where internet is not the only way to get through. You know, I know that the old-fashioned way is kind of dying out. You don't need to knock on the right doors, but what I've learned about business, because I'm an entrepreneur, is that you need connections and you need good connections and you need to knock on the right doors. So I guess this is me
But how
asking.
do you get connections?
By being social, man. I'm in the streets,
No,
man. I
no,
sell.
no,
Okay,
no. That's not how you get
okay.
connections. You
Oh,
need to have something of value to offer.
I do.
The
I have
reason,
me, bruh.
no, it's something that is tangible, that is marketable. So the reason why
My
people
brand is
gravitate,
tangible.
but you don't have a brand. No one knows who you are. So you
Some
understand, and your
people
name,
do. That's not
yeah.
entirely true.
So
Dude,
you
you're
are also
asking
in
for
denial.
advice and you're arguing at the same time. Come on, man.
People don't want
Okay, my bad.
advice. They want to hear what they
Let
want
me
to hear.
listen.
They want.
Let me
She wants to
listen.
be a
Let me
woman.
hear
He
what.
wants to be a woman. You are beautiful. Your body is sexy. Go out there and do a bikini shoot. You got a nice summer body. Thank you. That's your advice.
Nah, dude, don't be that guy, bro. Just tell me what I need to do, like a
No, but
brother.
why do you think? Why do you think me, someone who has worked very hard, very hard, needs to give you
Uh,
free advice? No,
also,
that's
you
not
you
fair.
you want me to pay for the advice?
Well, I want you to respect me.
I respect you. I just told
You
you
have got no
how much I.
respect. No, you don't. You just said all the nice things that one wants to say, dude. I don't know you from a bar of soap. Why are you saying all those nice things about me, dog? You understand what I'm saying?
Cause,
Because you're
bruh,
trying to
like I follow you on social media, man.
you're
I'm an
trying to
honest
bribe
guy.
me. So
I'm
following
not
me is what?
bribing you,
It does
bro.
me
I'm
a
being a
favor.
nice
So hold on.
guy.
How much do you pay to follow me monthly?
To follow you monthly.
Exactly. You don't even pay a cent. So I'm supposed to appreciate something that doesn't cost you anything. You gain
Hey,
from me.
man.
I
I mean,
share
I'm
my
still
knowledge, and
hustling, bro.
you're not hustling. You're not
Knowledge
hustling.
is power, Nota.
Exactly. So take up the knowledge and do something and make something of yourself, and then you'll have something to bring to the table, and then connections will come around you. Connections don't come around you if you're not the plug. Make yourself the plug first.
I respect that, man. Thanks for the advice, man.
Sharp, sharp.
Bro, and
Sure.
don't smoke weed while working, man. It's bad. Smoke after.
Yeah.
Smoke weed every day, all
Smoking weed.
day.
You see.
That's all I do, bro.
So yeah.
I'm not
So
saying
you
it's
see,
wrong, but it
that's
will
a
slow you
self-destructive.
down.
That's a no, not
It'll slow you
self-destructive. That's
down.
he smokes weed all day. It'll cause schizophrenia. Don't worry. This guy, he doesn't want to improve his life. He wants to smoke weed so that he can feel better about his misery and escape reality. And then he wants people handouts. So that is the type of people that will never ever succeed in life. I didn't get to where I am by smoking weed all day. I'd never encourage that shit. Call me. Pendulo came back into the space to speak. He wanted to repeat what he wanted to say. Bendulo.
Yeah, brother Nota.
Sure.
Brother brother, man. I'm begging you actually, brother, to like.
A man never begs. A man never begs. A man eats
That's the problem.
a man eats spiders everything.
That's the problem.
You understand? Never. No, a man never begs, dog. A man has strength.
Our
Actually,
brothers have
okay.
been emasculated, man. Hey, they've been there. The
They're both are
masculinity is
chopped off.
on a negative now.
Dog, how can you provide for a woman and a family if you have to beg other men? It means you're a boy.
Yeah, let's say I'm a boy.
So
But I
you need
have
to grow up.
something to say, bro. Yeah,
No,
but I have something
you
to
have
say
not.
regarding you, your
So
behavior.
no. So boys don't have anything to say. That's why boys don't eat with the men, because the men have worked hard to gain perspective, to gain knowledge, to gain accomplishments, and therefore they can come to the table and sit with other men as men, knowing that we've earned our way here. Boys don't earn anything. They haven't done anything with their lives. So they don't have the right to speak. That's just what it is. That's the reality. Reality. I worked for my right to speak. I fought for it. You know, I worked very hard. I didn't ask anyone for favors. I didn't go into spaces, yo, please help me. Yo, so and so, please give me advice. Yo, do this. No. No. I made myself invaluable. I made myself the oxygen. I made sure that without me, you can't breathe. Isiko. Isiko.
Yeah. I just wanted
Isiko.
to add on to the point of eugenics. I think the speaker was speaking before was looking at it as a theory, but it's a scientific study that actually exists and that's still prominent till this day. You know, eugenics is like the castration of the black family. It's been promoted to black women mainly and specifically in order to depopulate the black population. And at the same time, I also wanted to add on top of that too. I think one of the speakers, I think you were talking about something about how people worked and went to mines and all that stuff. And I've actually lived in every city in South Africa. And one thing that I've noticed is that the way that the towns are planned or are still planned
We
till
have
this
4
day.
cities. We have 4 cities.
Yes, the
That's not
way
hard.
that the way they are planned and still done today is it's to promote a form of slavery amongst black people.
That's it. That is it.
And it's
That
not
is
the
it.
only
And
atrocity that has been going on. There's many more, but I can't really speak on this platform about them. People need to do their own research and understand these things and be well informed to see what the real enemy is and
people
what is
don't do
really going on.
research.
And it's
People don't
very
do research.
it's very intense. It's very bad. I understand what you guys are talking about with women and all that stuff, but that also stems back to the fact that there's no longer a black family. Fathers are not promoted in the household
That's
for
it.
black people. You understand? Well, mothers are not promoted anymore. Everyone has to be a hoe. Everyone has to be a slave queen. You know what I mean? It's it's boggling.
We also have to at some point talk about the levels of alcoholism, but hey, that conversation gets black
But
people
that
heated.
itself is
But
also
Very
for
quick.
me,
rooted in the same thing we're talking about. It's coming from
Mm.
the same source
but
we're
let me tell
talking
you
about.
something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The easiest way to solve this problem go to the ones that have not been negatively affected by eugenics studies. The Asian women, they're available, they're fertile, they can provide you with children. They are probably more likely to have been well raised in a good family structure and respect and understand and value and appreciate a good family structure. So there's nothing wrong with that because your baby will still be black. Advice for all my niggas: impregnate Bridget. So if she have a baby, she go make another nigga. That's Kanye West.
But not at the end of the day, we have to also, as black men, have to stand up and fight for the black family. You know.
But we cannot fight hundreds of years of eugenics. So the only way to save is to save the next generation. So what you do is that you remove black women from what you want for them, which is for them to aspire to something higher, right? Because people don't rise to the occasion; they sink to their training. You understand what I'm saying? People don't rise to the occasion; they sink to their training.
But how?
You understand?
That's the thing.
When I'm telling you that when black men decide that black women are not good for us at all, trust me, you will see a behavior change because you will start seeing black men choosing only the black women that are good for them.
So
Only
you're saying that we can't really deconstruct that mindset.
What we're seeing is the black men that are taking advantage of black women, right, who are promiscuous for easy sex. Why do you want easy sex? Dude, let me tell you something.
It's all we can get nowadays.
What happens if I have a daughter?
Wait.
What do I teach my daughter?
You raise her well. You raise her well to be the type of black woman that can raise a family. That's what you do. That's what you do. You make her the exception of the rule. And trust me. No.
But that's what you're actually saying to us. You're teaching us, let's empower black children, black women.
No, I'm saying black children, because even if you've got a white wife, your children will be black. Even if you've got an Asian wife, your children will be black. Even if you've got an Indian wife, your children will be black. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because we've got dominant genes. So let us take advantage of what we've learned from eugenics, which is that we've got dominant genes and that we can copulate with anybody and still produce black babies.
So to get the more dominant genes, that means I have to marry a black woman to get stronger genes.
No, you don't. They're not.
But that's what
you're
saying means that black is
not
strong.
But okay, what I'm getting, guys, from this is that the mindset of the woman that you actually put into your life is very important to the kids that you have and the kind of people they become.
Exactly.
It's not really about how the person looks or what race they are. Sorry,
exactly. So what I'm saying is that if already you've got 80% of black kids right now unable to read, how do you teach them? You understand what I'm saying? So you're working backwards by now change women, older and grown women and grown. I know that I'm personally facing that. For me to make love to my wife, I held off from her advice for long because I didn't want her to have her so easily. She was throwing herself at me and I said, no. You understand? This is how it's supposed to be done properly. Why? She's trying to show her value.
Yeah.
The way in which the media, I cannot sit with my wife 24 hours a day in all her idle time. She'll spend most of her time with the women on TikTok, watching that content, consuming that poison. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So and I believe the media itself, the media itself is like
it's exactly like that.
It's a consumable asset of the economy. It's like the direction of marketing.
Who created DSTV? The Broederbond. Eugenesis. So the Eugenesis created the media platform that's us. Now, who is SABC's biggest advertiser? It's DSTV. He who pays the piper. You understand what I'm saying? So our state broadcaster is a surrogate of DSTV. And what is DSTV trying to do? It's trying to destroy the black family. That is why you only see dysfunctional black families on television. You don't see
Moja
the
love.
Cosbys anymore. You don't see Fresh Prince of Bel-Air anymore.
Moja love.
All you,
Moja love.
all you see are
What type
dysfunctional
of
black families. And that's the content that we feed ourselves. Every day, it's
what
Jerry
type of
Springer
programs do they
from
show on
morning
CakeNet?
until night. They show more wholesome products. They show
Dude, you can see how
women who are farmers,
informative carte blanche is,
women
bro.
who are come on. Look at it. The content that they keep for themselves.
They don't let their
But
kids
then,
watch nonsense.
but Nota, this question is for you. Why is it that in our spaces as Black people, where we are to a certain extent in charge of the creative process, we all do the same trashy content? I mean, if you look at the majority of podcasts,
who owns the broadcast?
I'm talking about podcasts on YouTube.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this: is that YouTube is the same thing. It works on serving content. The reason why you see MacG is because YouTube is promoting MacG. He's making sure that after you watch a video, the next video that you see that's served up is, hey, MacG. And then you watch it and it's funny, and then it gets served to you, and then all of a sudden you become a religious watcher. You're just watching it because now it's become part of your routine. Because that's what people do. They build a routine. So now that it's part of your routine, you're feeding your mind with poison. Whereas the same person could use his platform to promote positive things, but what does he do? He promotes the shows that are on Showmax, adulting, this. And when you talk about adulting, nobody watches that shit. More people watch MacG than people that watch adulting. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. If a Showmax has got 380,000 subscribers, Showmax as a whole.
It's what I'm seeing. Yeah?
So
In South Africa, it's like a form of hypnosis. And I'm noticing that adults have very impressionable minds, like they're toddlers. It's very scary and concerning.
It's because they're not educated. You understand? They're not educated.
Our people don't read, guys. They don't read. You can't even have a proper,
It's not that they can,
proper debate with a
cannot read.
majority of people.
And that's the problem. So it's only a minority of the people who can actually understand the concepts. And even that minority, when they try to explain, they need to now educate someone from grade R all the way to matric in that one conversation. It's impossible.
Yeah, and then they argue with you throughout the entire conversation.
You know, they don't even understand statistics. They can't even analyze statistics. They don't understand what that means. That means in a classroom, when five children walk out, 4 of them are dunderheads. You understand? So every 5th child you must count is the only one that can read for comprehension. Now, when we look at our population, right? 80% of our population is black. Is it a coincidence that 80% of our children cannot read for comprehension?
No, it's not. The other 20% is in the white schools.
Are probably white kids.
Yeah.
Besides reading, they don't even know computer science.
Imagine that. All of these kids, they want smartphones, but they don't even know computer science. So they don't even know how to actually fully
utilize
this piece of technology. They can't. They've got much more advanced technologies than the technology that it took to take a man to the moon in their hands. And what are they using it for?
Showing the ass.
Imagine.
So many hours of ass.
Imagine. Just imagine. That's it.
No,
yeah, I've tried using Instagram, it's very difficult to use because even if you don't follow any females, when you go to the search, all it shows you is ass.
And that's what I'm saying. And Mina, I avoid all of that. I just block and minus it so that when you go to my search and thing, the things that you'll see are the faces of white women, because white women don't have asses to show, so they show their faces. Why?
Oh,
Because I don't
God.
like seeing ass. I don't like seeing back shots.
But my biggest thing is
I
like,
don't like
how do you deconstruct the mindset?
you disassociate from them completely. You abandon the black woman as she is right now, because unfortunately, there's no saving her.
A
She
more
don't want to
radical
be
view
saved.
would be the culling of the herd. We kill off all the ones that are slowing us down, like the Jews did.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I
Whoa,
said a more radical view.
whoa, Hitler. Whoa.
You understand? So, but you don't need to kids. Let them try and marry white men. I need to us black men. We're trash. We're dirty. We're beneath them. Let them go and be taken by all the white men. There's a reason why, even with apartheid gone, white men still choose white women. You think white men don't like ass? They don't like voluptuous women? You think that's why they started, or they put her on a ship? They put Sarah Bartman over there in the red light district. They have a fetish for that shit. They like it, but they're not. They're not gonna raise their kids with a prostitute. Why? So us as black men, we respect ourselves. We don't love ourselves. We don't love ourselves enough to choose the right type of woman for us.
Then tell him to leave. You know how to knock on fucking Tyrone fucking that nigga lives right there.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's actually sad, man. It's actually sad what's happening to the black female. It's actually sad, and I feel like if we had to jump ship, it's like betraying your own race. I don't know how to put it. Like it's like betraying your own
Unfortunately,
race.
it's
As a
the
black man.
best thing. It's the best thing. It's the best thing, because you know what happens with life? People get old and they die. So if you shift young black men away from black women and you raise them to aspire to higher, and only the black women that actually have family values, those are the ones that end up finding mates, then what you'll see is that more women will aspire to that. That is the only way to change it. But as long as you're still simping and you're still trying to save these hoes, you're enabling them. You're enabling them. It's like, my cokehead friend, it's just that, I feel like if I don't buy him coke, then he won't come around to my house anymore and I won't be able to keep an eye on him.
But I also want to say, Nota, that I feel like black men are also partially to blame for this because they allow such behavior around them. You know? We as black men shouldn't be so accepting of such behavior and such,
so that's what I'm trying to preach.
from females.
That's why I'm trying to preach. That's what I'm trying to preach. That's what I'm trying to preach.
differ because men treat women based on how the women treat themselves. If you were to date a white girl who grew up in a conservative family, you would not treat her the same way as Utani from Mekas.
I hear you.
You definitely wouldn't.
But when Utandi from Mekas, he says, I want to give you pussy, why don't you say I want your pussy?
Oh, well, biologically, like...
there's no biologics here.
You're not a dog. You're not a dog. You're a human being.
So you're trying to say you can't control yourself?
No, I can control myself, but because of the way things
control
are,
yourself,
I
then.
just prefer to...
I
prefer to fornicate when I want to.
For example, you see with the slave queen culture, it's like if men would stop spending money.
Hold on.
So frivolously on
hold
stupid things.
Wait. Don't you think fornication destroys black women?
Well, it does. It destroys any woman.
Why don't you use your hand?
Oh, my brother, I work too hard to be using my hands, man.
So you
Allow
wanna
me
work
some
so hard.
freedoms.
So you want the freedom to destroy black women. When you want to the freedom, you've got no intention of marrying them. You've got no intention of raising kids with them. You just want to bust a nut. Use your hand, my brother.
No. Let's correct a few things. Marriage is one thing, right? If I were to decide now that I want to marry,
Okay,
I will go
hold
ahead
on.
and marry.
Why don't you go?
But you cannot.
Why?
You just said
Okay,
that I must
hold
not
on.
save them.
Why?
So
Why
if I don't save them, what must I do?
go for white women or Asian women? Why don't you go for them? Because they're not as easy, right?
No, it's not about easy. I
Exactly.
just don't find them as attractive as black women.
That's lies.
That's my
That's
thing.
lies. That's lies. That's lies,
How?
dog. There's
You
many.
just say
There's
that
many.
even but Nota, you just say that even white men want black women who are voluptuous.
Dude, what I'm trying to say
I
is that
think
men
the
love
best thing.
beautiful women.
Yeah.
All of them. Of any wait. I just want to finish this point. Men love women of any
Yeah.
race that are beautiful. Voluptuous
Yes,
women.
that's
There's
correct.
voluptuous white women. All of that. What I'm trying to say is that it's easier to get in bed with a black woman than it is to get in bed with a white woman. So why would you want an easy woman?
No, it depends. It depends where the black woman, which level of class she comes from. Not all black women are easy.
No, sometimes
Most
they
of them
can
are
come from a
easy,
very
bro.
classy home and be a hoe.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that. Just like you'd get with any other race, I'm just saying generally, the class where the woman comes from determines how easy she is.
I think the best way I can answer this is like we as guys need to tolerate less. Because we as a man, you're the leader. So you give the woman the direction of how she's supposed to move. You know? We should
Yeah, but I'm
tolerate
a
less
single
from
giant,
women.
guys. What do you expect me to do?
That's it.
I have no
I don't
intention of
tolerate
getting
bullshit.
married again. I
So,
need to release
but
stress
why?
every now and
So
then.
you've given up. You've given. Hold on. That's the thing. That's the thing. Is that we're not. Then just cocaine while you're at it, dog.
No, remember, I've got 2 kids. I don't have any intention of having any more kids. So marriage for me is null and void. Why would I want to get married if I don't want any more kids?
Children without a mother there that loves them and cares for them and nurtures them. You're denying your children a mother.
No structure whatsoever. You don't want structure for your
good
kids.
woman and
No, my
marry
kids
her.
stay with their mother.
You understand? So then they're being destroyed by the same woman that you cannot live with. You can't even live with that woman.
No,
but
we're
you
divorced. I mean,
it's fine. What I'm trying to say is that you can't live with that woman. She's not worth living with. And then you dump your children on someone who's toxic. Do you love your children when you do that? No, dog. Raise your children. Have custody of your kids yourself then. If you had custody of
but it's not so easy in the court of law, my brother.
forget the court of law. Forget the court of law. Let me tell you what.
In the court of law, you
No.
get shared custody, but the full-time custody is with the mother. They come and see me on weekends,
bro. You know why?
school holidays. That's as much as I can get.
You avoid your kids so you can have pussy. That's the truth of the matter. Let's be honest. Because if your kids were around, you wouldn't be fornicating because you can't have different women running in the house the whole entire time. And I'm just having an honest conversation.
Yeah, that's correct. Because even when they come visit me for school holidays, I don't keep anyone around.
So therefore,
but
help yourself,
you cannot say that I'm running away from kids when I'm abiding to court orders.
I'm not saying you're running away from your kids. I'm saying that you've dumped your kids with someone who is too toxic for you to live with. Number one.
No, I didn't dump them. They live with their mother. I didn't dump them. The court said that they must live with their mother.
It's fine. But you know,
I think what Nota is trying to emphasize here.
No. That's not how divorce works. It's fine. But you know that their mother is toxic. Number one. You know that. Ne? You know that.
She might be a toxic. Look, she might have been a. We might have been toxic partners towards each other, but that does not make her a toxic mother.
Okay. So then why aren't you with her? Why can't you resolve your differences?
Because it didn't work out.
No.
It didn't work out. I may be a good father, but not a good husband. She may be a good mother, but not a good wife.
It's impossible for you to become a better husband. So you're giving up on yourself.
No, I'm not giving up on myself. I'm giving up on the marriage.
No,
there's a difference.
You've given up on yourself. There is no
No,
higher.
no, no, no,
There's
no.
no higher form of a man than a man with his wife and his children. There's no higher form. So you are accepting a lower form
I've
of a
seen
man for
men.
yourself.
I've seen men trying to force things, my brother. It's not a nice life to live.
It's not about forcing things.
They end up
Life is not
committing
nice.
suicide.
No,
We
life is
see
not
them.
nice. No, life is not nice. That's the thing. The men that commit suicide are the ones that think that life is supposed to be a bed of a bed of roses. Life is not
No,
nice. Life is not.
they all
Life.
have to disagree with you, man.
You can disagree with me, but that's the truth of the matter. Back in the day, you'd be sent off
You are
to
more
war
likely
to
to
fight.
destroy your life trying to force to be
You're
with
not
a
saying
woman than
force.
to cut
You're not
ties.
forcing to be a. You're not forcing. No, that's the thing. You're not forcing. It's not about forcing. It's about being a good husband. Why is that so hard for you to do? Why can you not just be a good husband?
Do you think, for example, what's that lady's name who's a celebrity that Dlamini won? Do you think her husband was not a good husband? Do you think he didn't try to be a good husband?
Yes, he did. But he chose her knowing that she's not a good woman. He knew. Let me tell you, the man that should be wanted to marry her because she's famous and what. And then what happened? And then he ended up having a kid with a woman who's toxic. That's what
Bad
he's done.
judgment
And now
of
he's
character.
destroyed his son's life. You understand what I'm saying? You have a woman with the wrong child and you've destroyed your child's life. You have a woman with you have a child with a woman you do not respect, and then you've destroyed your child's life because your child will never respect a woman. You got lemon in it?
No, but marriage doesn't end because you didn't respect a person when you started off. Things change, people grow, people change, things happen.
People don't
You're supposed to grow together.
People don't change. They
No,
stay
my
the
father,
same.
we're not born in the same womb. We are not
People
the same
don't
people.
change. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. 99%.
No, people do change, guys. People do change. The dynamics of a relationship changes, people change.
16 Blocks. I'm gonna watch it now. Is it on Netflix? Okay.
We all know women,
Most
guys. Let's not act like we don't understand how women think.
It's Yasin Bey now. It's Yasin Bey. Gotta respect that. I'm gonna watch that. Okay. Sorry, guys. I just walked out of the bodega, and it's New York. So if you're talking loud, people will just talk to you. It's just the way it is. Yo.
Yeah, we here.
Yeah, I'm saying sorry about that, guys. This guy says I must watch Yasin Bey in 16 Blocks. Because sometimes people do change. All I'm trying to say is that people don't change. They can become better, but they don't change. You understand what I'm saying? You can improve. Now, all I'm saying is that when you gave up because you've had 3 or 4 years or 5 years.
No, I was with my ex 13 years, bro. I was with my ex 13
your woman
years.
Right. You weren't there in sickness and in health. You weren't there for better or worse. And then what do you teach your children?
But there's a limitation to the words, my brother.
You get going, my boy.
I'm much better. I'm a much better
taught
dad
your
to my kids
children
if I
don't
can
do what
maintain
you
my
say.
life.
They do what you do. They learn from your example.
Who kids?
I spoke earlier in the space of the toxicity of my own mother. As toxic as my mother was, my father didn't abandon her. Why? Because my father didn't want me to grow up to be a man that will abandon his wife.
No. When you talk about our parents, they were a different breed. They put up with a lot of shit. We are not that same generation, guys. Our women, you cannot put up with them.
It's setting a good example for me first. That is his first priority. I want to set a good example.
Yes, it can be his first priority, Nota, but if she packs her bags and leaves the house, what are you supposed to do? Because the next thing is that there's going to be a restraining order. You cannot force a person, no matter how much you want it.
That's it.
You can buy a house next door to hers just so you can be closer to the kids, but she's going to eventually get a restraining order in your ass. It's not so straightforward.
What I think Nota is trying to emphasize here is a structured family. You know what I mean?
This is recorded.
A father being present and being seen in front of the kids, a mother being there.
So we'll have to
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's ideal, guys. It's ideal.
I think our host is gone. Is Nota still here?
No, I
The
think
thing
it's
is that we
on.
aspire to ideals instead of aspiring to just having, reasonability. And that's where we go wrong. Let's be reasonable, guys. Let's not be idealistic. Let's
Mm.
be
It's difficult to
reasonable.
be reasonable one-sided. You can't be
And the sooner
reasonable
we
alone
start
in a
being
business.
reasonable, the sooner we can improve our situation. But we cannot improve our situation by trying to make mothers out of women who are just misandrous, who want to destroy. That's it. That's all they want to do is to destroy. We can't build with that. We need to pick the right building blocks. All right, guys. It's been a
Which
great
is
one.
the white and the
I'm
Asian
going to
woman.
watch NBA now. Peace.
Are you living